Hi, this is Joseph Arthur. Thanks for checking out Come to Where I'm From. Please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/come to where I'm from. We are an independent podcast, and any contributions you can make are greatly appreciated.
Episode 80-something.
With Sarah
Jaffe. In the
who
house.
I've never met, but...
I've never met, but should have met.
Should have met. I can't believe I didn't meet. I know. And how long have you been living in Jersey? I think you should do the whole podcast.
Not Jersey. Bay Ridge is in...
Wait. Oh, where is that?
But
I thought you said Ridgewood.
Ridgewood. Well, there is a Ridgewood in New Jersey, but Ridgewood's in Queens.
Oh, you're in Queens?
I'm off the Forest Stop.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You told me that. I asked her if she was
lived,
local. You said no.
She used to live in Texas.
Wait, what did you?
I said you
I
were local.
asked if you were local because I'm going to Canada today, and I was like,
Wait,
can we only
today?
get her today, or like, does it have to be today? And he was like, yeah, she's not local. And I'm like, oh man,
No, she local.
she's local.
She local.
All organic, non-GMO, local.
How long have you been local?
September.
Recently.
We're looking at 6 months.
Oh,
That's
it's
it?
recently. I wasn't that
I'm like
far
over
off.
the hill to I'm like, I see you. Like a year almost.
Wow.
Like if you're at 6 months, you're like already like a year, right?
Yeah. Where are you coming from?
Look at me already missing trains. Texas.
See?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what-
I have to say I do not miss driving at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And I love driving.
Yeah.
I don't miss it.
That's fun in open, wide-ranging Texas
And there's plenty
terrain.
of it, yeah.
Yeah.
There's plenty of it in Texas.
What made you move?
I mean, besides like a brief year in Los Angeles when I was 20, which I don't really count.
Right. Who would?
Because why would I count
You're
that?
20 and
yeah.
in LA.
Yeah, I'm like,
Forget
what?
about it.
I don't know.
It didn't count.
Yeah, it didn't. Just a lot of parking tickets and some moderate to maybe somewhat severe disappointment for my parents. But I came back to Texas. So I just always been in Texas.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I had reached a glass ceiling for myself. Like it just wasn't. Personal development just wasn't happening. I got a little thing called a divorce.
Oh, you
which
did?
Which helped a lot. It just cleared the path.
Yeah.
Because moving to New York was something I wanted to do for a while.
Yeah.
I'd never really felt like a pull. Like some people go to places and they're like, I belong here.
Right.
And I never felt that feeling,
Yeah.
like the clarity of knowing.
Right.
But as far as like cities that I've just like jive with, New York
Yeah.
was, I'm like, this is a pace I like.
Yeah.
You guys don't sleep, neither do I.
Right.
And you're all fucking crazy. Me too. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
up, guys?
Yeah. I like the energy of like, we're not sure how we landed that plane, but we did. Like,
Yeah.
I just kind of thrive in that.
Every day is like
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's just like operating on a wobble
Like,
wheel, right?
Yeah, basically.
Just like, whoa, I don't know. It's been happening for 100 years. We're still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow it works.
That's
Yeah.
civilization right there.
Yeah,
New
that's
York
true.
is just like the most concentrated
Concentrated
form.
version
Yeah.
of it.
Which I really love. And I just kind of said to myself, you know, when I was still in Texas, like I was kind of swinging back and forth between going back to Los Angeles. And it just, as much as like the sun can kind of like persuade
Bamboozle you into its
and
grasp.
LA, like you're just like fresh squeezed orange juice. You're like, all right, this could be me.
We have that here too, though.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of different.
We got
yeah.
juice.
You got a
here,
lot
too.
of fresh squeezed stuff. Yeah.
Very perceptive.
Yeah.
She's picking up on the little
Yeah.
nuances of everything.
Saw some of it right before I walked in. I just kind of swung back and forth between the idea of moving to Los Angeles, and then I'd fly to New York, and I just kind of eventually said, I don't think this feeling of like just absolute clarity of like knowing which place to go next
is gonna come.
And I don't even think that was really what it was about. I think it was like any move is a good move. Like let's create a pace for ourselves, like create some movement, create
some turmoil.
Yeah,
the right kind of
the
turmoil.
right kind of turmoil. Yeah. So, and New York just kind of, it continuously opened its doors. Like, I met so many cool people, just coming frequently, and just kind of that they just opened their arms and were like, yeah, if you need a place to crash for a little bit, you're more than welcome. Stay as long as you like. And not that I didn't get any of that love in Los Angeles. It was just, I don't know, it resonated every time I came here. And so I just kind of listened to that. And
isn't it funny how life is just an invention? You're just inventing it all the time. Like,
all the fucking time.
Where are the rules? Can somebody I want to like disconnect and have somebody do it for me for like a year. I think that's what going into an asylum is like. I
just had this conversation with a good friend of mine, and I was like, I never thought that I was the type of person that'd be like, you make the decision for me.
Right.
But sometimes I think I'm so intertwined with being that person that I don't know. And so I just kind of like, it is all about inventing and reinventing, and
you just have to be constant with the discipline of it, I find. Like,
creating your own content.
You just have to be constant. It's like it's an everyday thing. It's like, really? Is there no break?
No.
When's the break come?
No fucking breaks, bro.
And as soon as I do try to take a break, I like go into depression. Like, the blinds stay down and it stays dark and it's 1 p.m. and I'm still in bed.
Yeah.
That type of shit. And that's a nightmare. So like with the rest time is a nightmare. That's a nightmare. That's like, but the discipline thing is like every day I got to get up and run and do yoga and just like,
and I got to be disciplined. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do anything like that? Or do you just like cave into...
I'm baby stepping it. I hate the gym.
Right.
I am currently seeking discipline though.
Yeah.
I am very indulgent.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for me to...
Indulgent in drugs?
No.
In people? In food?
People
and food?
Schedule. Like if something is mentally stimulating.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to just like know when to stop, or even say like, hey, maybe you should do a little compartmentalization.
What do you mean by that? What
well,
be
like
more specific.
If I'm smoking a lot of weed.
Word. Did you bring any?
I did. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Can we smoke?
Yeah.
I don't know if we're allowed to smoke any in here.
Well, I brought a pin.
Oh yeah. Can we smoke some?
Do you want me to grab it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Is that okay?
It's fine with me. Listen, you get yelled at, you get yelled at. I just can't partake. I gotta do school pickup after this.
Maybe a little one hit will take the edge off.
I think so.
Maybe.
I feel like it's okay.
No, I said it. Like it's
I've been watching Mike Tyson's podcast. Like,
do they smoke weed?
They smoke tons of weed.
Tons of weed.
And Mike Tyson's got all this like weed company going on, and everybody's got weed companies, and I should have.
Why?
Well, I'll tell you what. A friend of mine actually has stock in that. Has stock in a weed company, and he said it's not as booming as you think right now.
Right.
Because some of the laws still aren't there yet, and they're sort of like festering all in the same place. But it will.
There's
eventually.
a brand called Joseph Arthur with neon letters. Joseph Arthur. My name. Somebody sent it from Colorado.
What?
Yeah. I don't think it's related.
Like
I don't think they
joint, or
named it after me. I
like
think
a
it's just
pre-roll thingy.
No, it's like a weed company,
Oh, it's just a company.
and it says Joseph Arthur like in neon letters. They sent it to me unless it was a joke. I don't think it was a joke. It seemed legit.
Well, you should
Joseph
write
Arthur
those
Weed Company, you
cocktails,
should
sugar.
sponsor us.
Yeah.
That's true. What is this? Is fancy.
Oh, just
then.
press the button.
Anyway.
Just press the button.
So
Yeah, if I'm smoking,
weed,
if I'm smoking too much and I'm like, especially with that, and I'm just like hitting it constantly, and then before I know it, I'm just like, I'm Jello, which is
but
great.
don't you get creative with it?
Not
really?
Not if I'm home. I just get lazy.
Yeah. What do you do?
Watch TV, eat too much.
You don't get creative with weed?
I have to already be in a creative environment. If I'm at home, then it's like leisure time. But
You don't have a home studio?
No, not there yet.
No. It's so funny because your music seems so in that zone. Like you and a laptop could be going crazy.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of the way you experiment with your music and your voice and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing with SMUT.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I started like creating my own samples. I was like, how do these old records that were just like, I just started paying attention to the sampling in the background. That was just so in the song. That it's almost like unnoticeable, but like hip hop does it all the time where it's just like specifically I was thinking of Beyonce's Nelly, can you handle this? Beyonce. Dun, 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 the Stevie Nicks, just like a wife. So in there, and I just became obsessed with sampling, and so I just started doing it in my own way, I guess.
Do you sample yourself? Are you using software? What are you doing?
Well, a lot of times I'll take a voicemail or something like from the real world.
Right, like this way SMUT starts.
Yes. Specifically with SMUT, that was a voicemail that was texted to me by my girlfriend's roommate.
I love you.
I love you. And it sounds...
Y'all still doing that SMUT?
Are you still reading? Oh, my God.
I had to look up SMUT. It doesn't even mean anything dirty. It just means a little dirt.
I guess it's like it's a phrase from the old world.
I went directly
like
to
SMUT magazines,
SMUT.
right?
Yeah, SMUT magazine, yeah.
So it's like, is it like a Playboy?
SMUT just means like
the
dirt.
genre.
Okay.
SMUT
It just
was
means-
like porn.
It just means dirt.
Right.
Like a little bit of dirt is
I think
smut.
it's such a good word.
It's a good word. I agree.
And I had this shirt called Smut Police, and I never knew what. I was like, what? And so when she sent this voicemail, I was in the middle of recording with Aaron, and we were just kind of wrapping up two other EPs that we released at the same time. And
The Heartbreak EPs?
yeah.
What are they called? Getting Better 1 and Getting Better 2?
Not better yet.
Not better.
Still trying.
Still trying.
And we'll continue trying.
Almost there, guys. Almost there.
I'll continue on. Yeah.
Was that following the
I
divorce?
guess I won't cut my wrist part 1 and part 2.
Joseph.
Is that following the divorce? if I may
Yes.
ask? Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is Better Part 1 and 2, and those kind of came about. Well, I was just getting into top lining, and
Top lining is when you write the top part of this melody and lyrics, usually of like a hook or some
which
shit.
is why I was going to LA a lot. Like it was just kind of like let's take a stab at this because I love pop music.
Me too. By the way.
I love it, and I just feel most confident in the studio. I feel like that is where I thrive. That's where I should be. That's where I want to be all the time.
Yeah, me too. How can I
really
get there
do.
more?
Yeah, how could
With like trained professionals.
Exactly.
That take care of everything.
I just want to write.
Come
I want to
on,
write
put
shit
me
for other
in.
people.
I'm
I
a
want to
genius.
collect
Let's
checks
do
quietly and like not be fucked with.
Right, exactly.
You know?
I know. Why can't life be that easy?
Why?
And for some people it is. I think it's down to us not manifesting what we rightfully deserve.
I go back and forth with that.
Yeah, I was just throwing that
And
out
I don't
there
know.
to see if it stuck.
Well, it depends on like maybe what I had for breakfast.
Yeah.
If that thought stays with me or not.
Right. You don't listen to Abraham Hicks?
No.
No, the manifestors people like Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton. All these are just Greek to you?
Yeah, no. What is... you might as well have named T. What is?
Yeah,
who's
Bruce
this?
Lipton.
Bruce Lipton. Yeah. I'm like, sounds like an assortment of teas.
Joe Dispenza. He dispenses the
tea.
The Joe Dispenza company.
We
Tea
have
distribution.
We have Bruce. We have Earl. We've got.
It's just you know, The Secret. You know, like put it in your mind and manifest it. Basically, feel your dream to make it true.
You know, I really feel like,
what do you think about
white
that?
people really just drilled that. It's like the kale of thought.
You blame
like,
it on white
just,
people?
Yeah, like that we're owed something. We're not owed
Not
anything.
owed, that you're manifesting something that it's the idea. Is
you don't think that that's a loophole though?
Well, maybe, but it's like it's down to like the power of your mind to create your reality.
Sure.
Like it kind of
Yes.
goes back to the first thing I said. Isn't it weird how we just create our own reality?
Invent
like
it,
we're inventing it.
Yeah.
And every little decision we make can take us in wildly different directions.
Yeah.
And I find that, like, if you really consider it, you become paralyzed.
Yes.
You almost have to just throw caution into the wind.
Yes. Or just like have your heart ripped out from your stomach and you're just like in the Wild West and just like,
Just
who
get used to
fucking
it.
cares? Like, go for it. Like,
Right.
who does care?
I don't know. It's getting weirder and weirder.
It's
all the
getting,
time.
I think that's why I'm like, maybe I'm thinking about this incorrectly. Maybe longevity is the goal. Maybe it's not about, I don't know. That's not what I want though.
You don't want longevity?
No, I definitely want longevity. I want longevity and constant success.
Yeah.
Like every day I want to be like, someone just comes in and is like, Sarah, you won this, or Sarah, you won
here's
that.
an
And I'm like,
additional $1 million.
amazing. Yes. Hey, we got to check in licensing up. Like, you're like, yeah. Like, I just want success all the time. I want validation all the time through means of success.
What happens when you get that, though? And you've had periods where you've had some stuff like that occur, right?
I mean,
maybe not enough according to you.
Yeah.
And
It's just like an impossible standard.
I can relate, but
Yeah.
the moments you've tasted it, the moments, the moments you've like tasted it, how did it leave you? Like a junkie needing more?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, maybe.
Speaking of which.
Yeah. I know.
What flavor is that?
What is the? I think it's Blue Dream.
It's good, whatever.
It is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you still, I think you achieved longevity. I mean, you're still doing it.
Yeah. Right now, what's gonna like? That's what I'm saying. like that's the thing about like anyone who's, I guess, freelance is the way the government would look at me. But it is the Wild West. You don't know where that wagon's going.
No.
You really don't.
No, you don't. I don't know. I have a sort of nihilistic worldview that I've always had since I was a kid.
Hit me.
It's just in my head. It's this willingness to go like, well, fuck it. I don't even know if I'm going to be alive next. You know what I mean? There's been just that, like, and I don't want to say that out loud or anything, but I've kind of always lived my life that way. And I think like as an artist, you almost have to. It's like you almost have to be willing to just like bet everything against a dream.
I mean, yes. I think that's, to me, that's a realist mentality. Like the fact that we're not guaranteed anything. Like we are not owed anything.
Right.
But like the power of one's mind is not going to affect anyone really but you. And so I guess when you're better, like
Wait, the power
world,
of one's mind isn't going to affect anybody but you? I disagree with that.
I'm saying in the long run. What I'm saying is like, that's the part of me that agrees with things that manifest.
It's just occurring to me that maybe like I like hold on to this like need for the power of the mind to manifest philosophy as a security blanket against the insecurity of life.
Oh yeah. But that's what it all is.
That's what everything is.
It's everything leads back to like you're gonna die and
you're alone
and
in
you
the
don't know
universe,
when.
And you don't
Good
know
luck.
when. Good luck.
Have fun with your songs.
Right.
Get a few more checks. Like
Why don't you write a poem today?
Exactly. Write a
Do a podcast. Hello.
I love it. I'll do a fucking podcast with the homies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fucking figuring it out, and I'm in the rawest form of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like there's no hiding it, no dressing it up. I just moved, and I honestly feel like, I'm like, is it really taking me this long to just like get my bearings? Like, I just feel like the last year is me just trying to get like a grip on some sort of like foothold or just like something.
I feel like that's my whole life.
I don't know if it's like, I mean, yes, there's that, but maybe it's just a thing with like getting older.
Yeah, that too. That's
getting older, I'm just like more every day that passes, I'm like, I am mortal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you've been here 6 months. Have you done anything creatively in the 6 months since you've moved?
Yeah. What have I done creative?
Just putting that outfit together is creative, bro. Like, did you see the way her eyes look?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've seen her.
Creative.
Yeah.
You've seen these
peepers? You've seen this? That's creative.
No, but like, my question is, did the move inspire any creativity once you got to New York? That was like.
Yes. It kind of, New York is it did, this is a two-parter because everything is. It did in that it changed my mindset. I mean, there hasn't been like an abundance of creative projects or anything. I mean, here and there, but I've also just been flying to Texas literally every month
to work?
For shows, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. So that's kind of a weird security, like.
Yeah. I mean, that like Texas is still.
Texas won't let you go.
Which I'm so thankful for.
Is this a process of individuation from your parents too?
Yes, but I knew it would happen like this. I see them more now than I did when I lived.
Right.
40 miles north of them. So.
Right.
They love it. They're doing their own thing. I think I miss them more.
And your dad was a basketball teacher?
High school women's basketball coach for, 15 years.
And did you play?
Hell yeah, I played.
You did?
You're looking at a motherfucking point guard.
That's amazing.
Got that shot.
Were you good?
I was good.
What was it like with your dad as the coach?
My sister was a better player. He benched me all the time. I had a horrible attitude.
Right.
All the fucking time. So I got burnt out, and
I also there was no favoritism.
No, and he really showed
accentuated
it. Yes,
that.
like just because you're my daughter doesn't mean you won't get grounded and immediately.
Jaffe, get to the bench.
Yeah. Ooh, man, he had a silent rage. You're just like, uh-oh. He's one of those quiet coaches that would just like look at you and just be like, you fucked up with his eyes.
One sister?
Yeah, older sister, Jessica.
Older sister, and she was the star?
She's a good ball player, man.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Point guard as well?
Mm-hmm. Just fearless, just like she is. I was afraid of the ball. I just liked the show of it.
Right.
That's why I had a clean shot,
That's a great lyric you just said. I was afraid of the ball. I just like the show of it. That's why
I was afraid of the ball.
Just like
just
the show.
Didn't show it.
No, I just like the show of it.
Look at you quoting my lyrics back
to me. I had a clean shot. I had a clean shot.
Yeah.
That's tight.
It is a good lyric. Let's
tight.
go. Sticks, cymbals. What do we got?
That's tight.
Yeah. Got mine.
I had a clean shot. It sounds like city, like.
Yes. I was afraid of the bar, just like the show of it.
Just
I
like
had
the
a
show of
clean
it.
shot. Clean shot.
I had a clean shot.
I had a clean shot.
Joseph, what are we doing?
Clean shot.
Let's get to the.
Yeah. Clean shot.
I'm actually not mad at it. Right? Like a choir.
Right.
Yeah.
Clean shot. Yeah.
A Texas town choir.
What are we doing with our day?
I don't
Let's
know.
go.
We're making a podcast. We're making miracles happen.
Yeah.
I love your tooth, though.
Thank you.
That was a good idea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got the tooth before my 31st birthday. And it's always something that I wanted.
What is that? Is that what's the
Oh no,
the
it's the tooth.
definition for it?
Oh, it's a gold tooth?
They basically treated it like because I went in and
Do they pull one out and put one in?
they pulled
Really?
out my good tooth.
Okay.
I didn't
Is
know.
it
I
a
wasn't.
veneer? Is it considered? What is it? It's an implant.
It's dope.
I don't know because they didn't tell me about the process. I've never had a cavity. I have really good hygiene, and
Your folks
Didn't-
can't be happy about that, though.
my mom was like,
She was bummed.
I spent
Did she get it?
thousands on braces and you got a gold. I'm like, why do you care? It's like when parents comment on your haircut when you're like
But it looks
30
It
and you're
just
like,
looks gangster. It just looks like, but in a good way. Like,
Yeah.
No, I love
Yeah.
it. I'm saying it's a good idea.
well, it's also like who's gonna fuck with a
But I can
bitch
see
in a
why.
gold tooth?
Right. I can see why your mom is like it's not her idea.
She likes it now.
Wait, what did your mom do? Oh, she does.
Yeah, she does.
She's come around to it.
They always come around, man.
That's nice.
They're open people.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What did she do again?
Well, they were both. Dad was a basketball coach, but eventually retired that, and then they both started teaching.
Okay.
My mom was a teacher for 36 years, and then my dad the same because he taught and was a basketball coach. And they recently retired. They were teachers for 35 years.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And what did your sister go into?
My sister kind of helps promote for this really, really cool bar in the hill country, kind of close to Austin, called the Devil's Backbone. It's like a legit cowboy bar.
She books something called Devil's Backbone?
Yeah, my sister's really good at like, she went into bartend a little over a year ago.
Your parents raised a couple of pirates.
Yeah, no, really, we do kind
like
of
for school teachers.
Yeah,
It's like
maybe it's just that like middle class, like every 1 out of 100, like it strikes where you're like, I gotta get the fuck out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Boredom always ended up being a good thing for both of us because it was just like we had a clear, clean page of like what we wanted our future to look like and what that might look like as a kid. So
What do you mean you had a clear, clean page?
Well, I mean, as far as like my parents raising us and how Jessica and I are the way that we are because of them, even though they were both teachers living in a, that world for all of our lives, we still kind of have this like hustle mentality. And I think my parents also did very much.
Imbued that into you?
Yeah.
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 That's cool.
Yeah. So when you hustle, you gotta get a gold tooth, man.
Yeah, and you don't like complacency. That explains a lot in your music. Why you've like gone all over the place with it.
Well, isn't that what we all should be doing?
Yeah, I agree. I actually you inspire me because I definitely have similar hip hop leanings towards electronic music, all that, and explored all that too in my music. But in researching for this podcast, the thing that my head said was, yeah, you should be doing that more like she is.
Do you think that was a
mean?
thought that like when did you start playing?
Like when did I start making records, or when did I start playing music?
I guess records.
I guess like when I was 25, I started making records for my first.
Did you have that
label
thought then?
Well, I was on Real World Records, Peter Gabriel's label, so
Yeah.
I was introduced to a bunch of electronic elements that way already. So it was on top, and the guy who was producing my record was Marcus Draves, who used to work with Brian Eno. He ended up producing Arcade Fire and stuff like that. So, so I was getting thrust headlong into a modernized thing that I wasn't even necessarily totally maybe. I was prepared for it, but it was definitely advanced.
Did you always listen to different types of music? And just kind of bewildered at the fact that the music that you made just kind of came out the way it came out?
Oh, yeah. No, I listened to, lots of hip-hop growing up. And then I was in, thrash, punky, fast-playing bass-type bands, thrashy. And then I made an acoustic demo with, 10 singer-songwriter songs, and that's what got me a record deal.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like that. It was and I gave a tape to somebody in AA who gave it to somebody else, who gave it to somebody else, who gave it to Peter Gabriel. It was luck.
What year was this?
In 95.
95.
Yeah.
It's amazing that the music industry even, that's not really that long ago.
I know.
It feels like just within
25 years.
I wish I would have known.
But it's really not that long.
I wish I would have known then what I know now.
Right? But there's no way. No way.
When did you start making records?
What month is it?
I'm like, it's gonna involve counting on fingers. 2002. 2001, 2002.
So you've been doing it a while. How many records have you made?
Are we counting EPs?
Yeah.
10, 11.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What?
It's cool. Yeah, I got about 12, 13. That's cool, man.
That's cool, dude.
Well, you guys want to wrap it up, or?
So,
I'm just kidding.
do you know Joan Wasser?
No, who's that?
Joan as policewoman.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I love.
You guys went to different schools together.
Really?
I don't know. You remind me of her in a way.
Yeah, a lot.
I'm good friends with her. I love her. Yeah.
Oh man, I became a fan of her through. I guess I didn't know her name. John Grant. Do you know that song that John Grant did with her?
I don't
Didn't
remember.
He? John Grant, the piano.
Probably. She
amazing
does a lot
songwriter.
of.
Yeah, she collaborates.
Stuff, yeah.
Where's she from?
She lives in Brooklyn.
Yeah, we had her on
Is
the
she from New York?
Yeah.
I don't know. She's been in New York since the 90s. She's been here for a while.
Why are we not making a super group?
Listen, we should.
She's going on tour on a covers album she just put out.
Really?
Yeah.
It's coming out, I think, this month or next month. Yeah. She's a great person, John.
Well, next time you have me on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta introduce
They did go to the same
and then
schools
we'll record
in different places.
Right?
Clean shot.
Yeah.
We'll record it.
Yeah. Wait, so was Clementine your first big hit?
Yeah.
And that one just fell out of your soul onto the floor.
It was a filler.
It was a filler, yeah. I was in a band at the time called Tomahawk Molly, and it was
just to get people fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Means it was a bar band.
We were a bar band.
Good time bar band.
Exactly.
Went over.
And yeah. She's like, don't listen to this sloppy shit. But check this out. Yeah, Clementine, we didn't have a long enough set, so I just wrote it in a homie's dorm room. Mm-hmm. And that's why I repeated the verse twice. It was just kind of like, well, there's no time to write a second verse. This is just gotta, and then it was pretty immediate after I recorded it. People liked that song. It is.
Isn't it great when
still
that
feeding
happens?
me? And oh my god,
Really?
I really hope that it just continues to
Feed me my porridge.
yeah.
Did you ever consider going back and writing that second part?
No.
Or do you write like that again, or try to attempt to recapture that
I
magic?
think the best way at attempting or making that effort is collaboration and making it less and less about myself and more about the process of writing music. That's every time that happens.
Yeah.
A really good song happens.
So you're facilitating creating that in your world.
Yes.
How?
By moving across the country and really just meeting people like you guys and just being really, really mindful of nothing ever has gone wrong for me when I've opened myself. I've always been pleasantly surprised in my life when I've just said, you know what, like self, ego, like take a fucking hike, like the show's over, like let's go home, wrap it up. I've always just felt fulfillment every time I've opened myself in that way, creatively, and just saying yes to more people. I think being in Texas for too long kind of spoiled me in a number of ways, and one of those ways was it created this world around me that was delusional. I think because I was, I'm successful in Texas, it just kind of like inserted this feeling that didn't exist anywhere else. Like, you play to thousands of people in Texas and then you go on the road and play for 2 people in Phoenix. So it just kind of created this world, and I was like, well...
But isn't everything kind of a delusional illusion when you break it down like that? And then, like, you know what I mean? Like, we have to just delude ourselves to get through the day. Like, like when you, like, break down reality like you did earlier.
Yeah.
When you said, oh, yeah, and then you're going to die. If you focused on hardcore reality all the time... I think we would just be like, I think delusion is an extremely important factor.
It's a survival mechanism for sure. But delusion doesn't encourage growth.
Right.
And so it was, I'm just in a growing spot. And it's I'm in a place now where it's just very hard to see things as they are. And I don't know that will ever come really, but I don't know. I'm growing right now. I'm in a weird growth spurt that also just feels.
You seem awesome.
Confusing. I mean, I'm all right.
Yeah, you seem awesome.
Thanks, man. I'm fun in the studio. That's the most fun. I mean, if you were to come over on any given night, it would.
Like it seems like an awesome point in your life, is what I'm trying to say too, because, it's just like being in the. You just moving here 6 months ago. You're in a good zone with your career. I mean, of course you want more or whatever, but it's like it's kind of killing. And it's like you can just from here, and you're still young.
Am I?
Yeah, you are. Take it from me, who's older.
Do you feel like that it's different though for men in any industry? Yeah. As far as aging goes,
I guess it's slightly different. I don't know. I mean,
I feel like
men and women are different in that way.
I don't know. That's also my own insecurity. We don't have to go there.
What about age?
Yeah, I just get like I'm getting old. Like time's running out. But then I'm like, that's bullshit, and that's definitely a mindset.
I think that's a mindset. I also think ageism is like gone down.
You think so?
Yeah. It used to be if you didn't make it by the time you were 27 and kill yourself already, then you didn't make it. That's not the case anymore.
Cyndi Lauper, wasn't Girls Just Want to Have Fun when she was like 40? Right? Or maybe I'm thinking of Sia.
Early on. No, that was like
Sia's first hit was like, really?
For Cyndi? That was in the 80s. Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
I'm going to Google on you right now.
84.
No. 84, but she was like...
He should do the research.
What do you need me to look?
She was like 40, right?
No. In 84, Cyndi Lauper?
How old was she then?
Maybe you're talking Cindy Crawford.
Anyway, don't worry about it, because that was back then when age did matter more. And what I'm trying to say is I feel like age matters less, and I feel like the difference between the sexes in regards of aging matters less too.
I agree. I'll do that later. You let me know. How old was she? How old was she?
Thank you. In her 30s.
Where are you from?
Ohio.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You Midwestern baby.
Where are you? Oh, yeah, you're from Texas. We've just been talking about that for hours.
Are all Midwesterners so nice?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we're nice.
Texas is, I mean, it's the South in general.
You're
Texas
like a southern
specifically.
version of nice.
Yeah.
I feel like Ohio has a certain southern thing to it.
Oh, very much like the just baked cookie version.
Right.
Like fresh out of the oven.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh out the oven
was-
and like ready to like
Wait,
cookie
she
dinner.
was 32. I guess you were right. She was older.
She's 32.
Because it was in 1985, and she was born in 1953. Hold on, 1985, 1953. Yeah, she was 32. I
32.
thought she was a lot younger then. I
Yeah.
But you
guess.
wrote...
For back then, that's late. I guess Madonna
Yeah,
like
that
a
was way
virgin.
late.
How
Late.
old was Madonna
No, that
for
was
like
like
a virgin?
That was
And-
40s back then, so in a way you were right.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
in the 80s, 30s was 40s.
Right. She's an old lady.
Yeah.
Come on, I mean,
Yeah.
like, it's not.
I just saw her play like last
Now-
week. She's still amazing.
Now we got
Cyndi?
2020, and it's like
You
look
know I
at
sang with her, right?
No.
2 shows.
Cyndi Lauper. Oh, she's amazing.
She's fucking
Where did you sing with her?
unbelievable. 2 shows in Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
And she
cool.
came into my dressing room before the first show. And she knocked on the door, and she's like, what part of New York is she
Queens.
from? She's from
a
Queens.
Queens
Yeah.
girl.
Man, the accent was
Thick.
real New York.
Thick on that one.
She she knocked on the dressing room door
Do the imitation
before the show, and she
please.
was like, "Hi, this is gonna be terrible, Sarah. Do you want to come on stage?" That's bad. I sound.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that sounded good.
Do you want to come on stage and
No, that's even worse. She asked if I wanted to come on stage and sing "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" for
Oh,
the.
shit.
And I was.
Were you the opening act?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember if there was a full band there. There was. Yeah. So the first night was in Houston, and of course, it's like one of those songs that you hear all the time. You know it. You can like sing it word for word. But the second that the source of greatness asks you to sing it,
Freeze up.
and she doesn't. There's a reason why she's got like a smoothly running team of musicians around her. She's Cyndi fucking Lauper.
She's
so
amazing.
she's
and
incredible.
then she just made $1 gazillion on Broadway.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Kinky Boots.
Oh, she killed it.
Oh wait,
Now
she
ta-
did Kinky
You want to
Boots.
talk about ways to get job security when we get older? It's time
Broadway?
to write Broadway musicals.
Wait, finish the
That's
story.
that's what's up.
Really?
Fuck yeah! Look at what happened.
Yeah,
to
Kinky Boots was
Yeah.
all her.
Yeah.
Wait, she wrote Kinky Boots.
Listen,
did not know this, and I
All
saw
the
it in
music,
New York.
everything.
Not recently. I saw it like 3 years
That's
ago.
like that's serious retirement type of money. That's like
I mean, that'd be
kick
so
back in your
fun.
townhouse money.
God. Can we talk? Can we put a footnote on that?
Yeah, just
I really want to have 2 homes, maybe 3.
See it and believe it. Put it on your
Yeah.
vision board. Look at it.
I
and
want to
come-
put it on my
That's
vision
what
board.
that's what the whole secret thing we were talking about before. You
I just keep
manifest
talking.
it.
I'm like, is it wrong to just want money? I just want money.
Well,
that's it.
What does money mean to you? Freedom,
I'm comfort.
comfort, and freedom. What?
I
so-
don't like
Or-
living without the things that I like. I
You want-
like.
You don't want fear.
Yeah.
Money takes fear away.
I want health insurance.
that's a big ask.
You know.
That's a
I don't
big
want to
ask
like.
for a
I
musician,
don't want like
Sarah.
50 to come around and be like, still don't have it. Hope nothing happens. Do you know what I'm saying?
Welcome to my
Yeah.
Joe just got health insurance.
Really?
This year, I
Oh, my
think, or
God.
last year.
I got it
It's
at the
a
last
shit
fucking
show.
minute. It is so weird. I had a friend help me get it, and they were at first they were just like, and it was like, I don't even want to go through it, but it was like, it's
And
it's gangster shit. It's like at first they're
It's
like,
like a
okay,
shitty
it's like
fucking plan, and it's like
$1,000. It's
$600
like I was with my friend on the
Doctor?
phone, and they were like $1,000 a month, and she was like, that's not gonna happen. Like she was badass. She just kept saying no. Fine. It was just a negotiation. It got all the way down to like, I'm not going to say the number.
The health insurance was?
Yeah, it was just a straight up, was like, I forget what we were on.
You pay $1,000?
No. It went way down from there. But that's where it started. It started at something astronomical. I could be slightly exaggerating. It was like $400, $600 a month. It was a lot.
Where is all this money going? Where is it going?
Anyway, yeah. So it's a
but finish your story. I'm sorry.
Well, no, that kind of
something to be angry about around every corner.
My point was like it was just a negotiation. Like she literally talked them so far down from what their starting point was, and they just kind of basically was like, okay, well, what? It's like almost like whatever they could get.
Whatever they could get. Like, that's what it is. There's like you think that there's. I'm like
it's the wild, wild west.
Yes.
You know.
It's the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Can we go back to Cyndi Lauper?
Well, wait.
Night one.
Yes.
So, but I wanted to talk about her writing a hit with Eminem.
Well, we didn't get there yet. We're still on the Cyndi Lauper story.
She said.
night.
But I brought it with the Wild Wild West
Yes.
of insurance, and that's also what she says. Writing hip hop is like the Wild Wild West.
Yes.
Okay, go there.
See?
I'll come back.
It was a
Come back to
segue.
Cyndi.
Wait, let's button up Cyndi. What's left with Cyndi? She's saying girls just want to have fun with Cyndi.
Well, the first night I fucked
night.
up. The first night I slightly fucked up the lyrics, just slightly, like it was like a word.
Right.
And I see it like crystal fucking clear in my head. She looked at me. It was just a look, and it was like. And I saw it, and I was like, yes, won't happen again. So there was just an exchange.
Wait, what happened?
Well, I fucked up. It was just like a slight fuck up with a lyric.
What was the fuck up?
Go home in the morning. What you gonna do with your life when you gonna live your life right? Like somewhere in there. Somewhere in that zone, I'd switched something.
And she gave you
nerves.
A look.
Yeah, she just kind of like looked at me like with a sternness, like. And I was like, won't happen again. With mine, and then I said something after the show. I was like, won't happen again. She's like, good. See you tomorrow.
Oh my god, that's rough.
Yeah, but it was like
But
I like
says
that.
That's New York.
It is New York, and I don't want you to. I don't want you to sugarcoat it
right,
at all.
and that's what New York is cool.
That's exactly. I want you to tell me exactly like it is.
She's the queen of New York. Like that's the spirit of New
Man.
York in a nutshell, right?
Yes, and
Just
then the
that
next night I
exchange.
fucking
Nailed
nailed it,
it.
and she had me back to
Nailed
her
it.
dressing room, and she
then
was
it was
just-
all warm and
Yeah.
giggly and cuddly.
She was like, "Well, tell me about your life," and I was like, "Amazing."
Really?
Yeah.
That's
You hung out.
awesome.
Yeah, I hung out with Cyndi. She was doing her like ritual, like wind down, like it was real chill.
Yeah.
But I got the invite, you know. I
Yeah.
got the
You
wave.
got to the couch.
Yes,
The Johnny
exactly.
Carson way.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, she's great. I didn't actually meet Eminem though. I did.
No, you just wrote the hook.
Wrote the hook, and I met Dre.
You met Dre?
I had dinner with Dre.
Whoa, go into that, please. That's insane.
Let's button everything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
It is fucking insane.
That's-
It's like 7
that's
years ago now, and I'm
amazing.
like, I cannot believe. Like when
Yeah.
we were watching have y'all watched the Defiant ones?
Uh-huh.
And I was like,
Oh yeah, that was
I had
great.
dinner with him.
Right.
He told me about that. Like, just like I won't stop bragging about it.
Don't. Why should you? Keep manifesting that.
Yeah. Well, so it came about because I had this project with a producer named S1, who's a hip hop producer. He's also part of Erykah Badu's band,
Yeah, he's
the
kinda
Cannabinoids.
big time, right?
He is big time.
Yeah.
So we started a project together. But before any of that, he had sent me a direct message on Twitter, and was like, "Hey, would you want to write some
How do you hear
hooks?"
about you?
Well, because the Cannabinoids, Erykah Badu's band, did a remix of one of my songs.
Nice.
So anyways, that kind of came about through just meeting I mean, there's like 15, I think there's 15 musicians in her band. And so I hadn't remembered meeting S, but he was one of the musicians, and he messaged me and was like, do you want to write some hip hop hooks? And I was like, fuck yes. And no one had ever given me that chance, nor would anyone make that jump that someone who could write Clementine could do this.
Yeah, but it's like Dido did the.
Yeah, and I'm like, can we all agree that she's flat? Like she sings flat through the whole song. We can edit that out, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it like she's? It's like flat notes.
I guess.
I don't know. I never paid attention.
But that was how her.
So flat.
Yeah, but it's kind of emotional when you do it.
But
you know what I mean? I think
that's her general delivery on all her stuff.
I don't know. I mean, collect your check, mommy. I'll go into her anytime. So
it sounds emotional. I know what you mean. I guess but like sometimes you know how like the Velvet Underground guitars in the early days are kind of like out of tune and they're so emotional. I love it. You don't like it?
I like a little goof. Harry Nilsson was like the perfect combo of those two worlds.
Huh.
There was that goof and there was the pitch problem every once in a while. But it was just a blended world. Too much sad. I'm like, Jesus.
I know, but I used to be so sad.
And we like that as younger versions of me like want to dive into that world. I don't really
I don't want
I
it
avoid it
anymore either, because you know why? Because now I know real darkness.
Yes.
And when you know real darkness, you don't fuck with darkness. You're like, you know what?
I'm not digging for that.
Let me keep darkness as far the fuck away as possible.
Like, I see you,
you know
buddy.
what I mean? I see
I ain't
you
fucking
coming.
with you.
Nah, I gotta go on a run right
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't.
Nah,
I'm like, don't.
Nah, we ain't going there. You know.
Exactly.
Right. Like,
but when you're young, you're like,
in that
yes.
when you're a teenager, you're like,
and that's how like.
Because you know you're far from dying when you're
yes.
a teenager.
You know you are, and you like. There's like a It's like a fuel, I think, when you're just starting out writing songs.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm so sad, and I'm 15 and I'm writing songs like I've just seen the world.
Yeah.
But I haven't. Like, I listen to older shit. I'm like, what the fuck was I going through? You lived with
but then
mom and dad, and like,
yeah,
you're
but check
doing
out, like,
fine.
Rimbaud, when he was 17, he wrote all that amazing shit that still stands the test of time.
Rimbaud?
Arthur Rimbaud. You never heard of him? Really?
No. Am I dumb?
He's a poet.
Never heard of him.
Mean, really?
I mean,
sounds like somebody I would know.
Rimbaud. Like, I think, didn't like Leo play him in a movie or
I
something?
don't know.
Rimbaud? I'm like,
Rimbaud,
I don't read,
Arthur
Joseph.
Rimbaud.
It's a movie?
Anyway, his poetry is amazing. He was 17, and he never wrote after he was 17, I guess.
See, I even hate that story.
I know. Well, yeah, it's a weird story.
I'm like, poor Rim. Like, but also,
he came to a weird conclusion in life. I think
really?
he got bitter about life.
At 17?
Yeah, but if you read his poetry, it's insane.
I mean, everyone's got a different life and a different brain, you know? I'm just judging everyone else's life through my lens.
Right.
So I'm like, well.
As you get older, do you feel like you accumulate yourself as a person, or become a whole new person all the time?
Both.
Yeah. I
think the parts that, if you're mindful enough to stick with, your own happiness and maintaining that, I think both are very, very possible, and they live together simultaneously. Yeah, they coexist. Yeah. I do feel like an entirely different person. Maybe that's just why maybe that's why I was 15 minutes late. You know, like, I'm just kind of.
I felt like at that moment you had changed.
And
from what I knew of you.
Right. It's just kind of.
I didn't know you before.
We still give, what do we call them, shoulder shrubs or whatever. What are the, like.
Noogies?
Noogies? These? Like elbow bumps?
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Like when you did y'all ever do that?
Elbow bumps?
Like, did you bump
Noogies.
elbows with your friends?
No.
Oh.
Noogies?
Noogies is like this. Like, I don't know. I thought you were talking
I'm
about
like,
noogies.
noogies?
That's one of those words that
That
Just
should be
became weird to me.
It is weird.
Noogies.
The more you say
but I
it,
know what you're talking about.
noogies. It's a bad word. It just sounds
It is
weird.
this.
Yeah, but it's that noogie. I don't even
Noogie.
like the activity of the noogie either.
I
don't like the word. I don't
hate
like
it.
the activity. Either one.
Can we circle back to the Eminem story for a second?
I'm like, I hear you're like focus breathing. You're like, listen, guys, I don't mean to interrupt. I was like, nose breathing.
You're like, you left
Nose
me on
breathing.
Cyndi, and now
Yeah.
you're leaving me on Eminem. Like, he asked you to come write hip-hop hooks. What happened then?
Oh, so
S1.
tweeted at me, direct
Well, we're
message,
talking about
yeah,
noogies.
through
No, go ahead. Sorry.
like I'm on my horse and I just like background to the subject.
Oh man, that's funny.
So I was like, yes. Met up with him like a few days later. He seemed amazing. He sent me this track, which was the instrumentation for Bad Guy. And at the time I was just moving out of my now ex-wife, but then girlfriend, was moving out, and I was helping her move, and I was in the driveway because there was just a lot of moving ruckus going on. So I heard it, and like 15 minutes later, fucking wrote the track in my Nissan Versa, and just kind of was like, yeah, it's amazing. Like sent it.
And you cut it in the car.
In the car, and then
In GarageBand. Using what? A microphone? Just
that
onto
2010 like
on a
pre-jobs passing, like the 2010 MacBook was incredible.
Right.
And I not one time did I use a mic. But just to be clear, we re-recorded that.
Yeah.
Sent it to him. He was like, I think he said, you're the truth, or Jaffe, you're the truth. And I was like,
Hell, yes.
Right.
so 6 months later, after hearing that Eminem wanted to do the track, and it was just kind of like back and forth, and we wouldn't hear anything 6 months later without even signing anything or nothing.
Yeah.
The back of the record leaked, and Bad Guy was #1. And so I, of course, since then have signed something, but he took Bad Guy and then split it up into 2 separate songs, but under the same title. So what became, I think that there were, outside of me and S, I didn't know, there's a producer named M Phases that was also doing something on the track. So outside of S and M, M Phases, I just didn't know who else was involved. And I also just didn't know that 8 people could make one instrumental track. I was like, what? I just didn't know. There's so many things that I learned, one of which is like Eminem's got 50 people in front of him. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a direct contact thing. It was just like he has no idea who I am, and is not looking at it, I would imagine, from like this girl's amazing. It's just like, yeah, this hook is strong.
Right.
And they were originally supposed to replace me with Rihanna, which is kind of what I was hoping for, because I knew if Riri was on the track, then it more. Yeah. But, I was just like a no-name, so I didn't even get like a feature or anything, which was a bummer, but also.
But your voice is on it.
Yeah. I wrote it and sang it, but they wouldn't, because I didn't, this was 7-8 years ago.
That's not
but
long ago.
It's not that long ago, but also, I don't know. I don't care. It was like, is this a good problem? probably.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So, but that's got to be good for the old feeding you your porridge too, right?
It doesn't hurt.
No, that doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
Did you meet with Dre?
Totally unrelated to it.
Unrelated
Yeah.
to that? How? Explain that.
So about a year later, I was in Los Angeles with S1. We were meeting with, I don't know, some A&R person at a label, and the meeting got canceled, and so we were just like, we moved the time, and then like 2 hours later, S texted me from his hotel room, and he was like, hey, do you want to go have dinner with Dre? They're going to the Ivy. And I was like, bro, yes. Like, just really, it was like, just like someone was just like just handling fireworks in my chest. And I was just kind of like, and then I just immediately like flashed back to like being in my sister's 1988 Buick with like the saggy roof, you know, like when the interior of a car just starts to like collapse and just like bumping
Snoop Dogg,
Dr. Dre, like fucking Tonic, like just
Chronic. But we know what you meant.
Tonic.
Did I say Tonic?
Yeah.
That was the remix.
Someone just took the rug. And was like, you're not fucking cool. You aren't. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry.
You're cool, man. You're cool as hell.
Fuck. Damn, I fucking know my shit. And don't you hate it? And you're like,
matter.
the Tonic, bitch.
That doesn't matter.
The fuck? The Tonic.
That is.
You know, I listen to Dre. The Tonic. Oh my God, there was a band named Tonic. Anyways, so we go to the Ivy.
It's the whitest band ever, dude.
I'm like, it's like a youth praise and worship band. GCD. There we go. I fuck with those chords though.
I don't know. They might not be the whitest band. I'm just kidding.
I could think we can go through that list later because there are plenty. So we went and I was freaking out. I was also just trying to like compose myself because I knew the second I started texting, like I wanted to text my sister, and I was like, you gotta hold off, like,
yeah,
because I don't want my phone buzzing,
and
like,
you don't want to create that energy of you being a spaz.
No, at all. And it's
an inside job.
It is an inside job.
It starts from the right. No, but for real, this is a deep point that you didn't do this.
I just kept away from my phone, and so we show up to the Ivy, and it's me, S1, and like it's Dr. Dre, and then 4 of Dre's like dudes, like just hard ass looking dudes.
Bodyguards?
They looked like bodyguards. They were like built like Ninja Turtles.
Damn.
So
4
me,
To go
this
to the Ivy?
this like
Come on, Dre.
albino girl like sitting with these guys. Everyone was looking at me because they were like, who's this hard ass bitch that's rolling with Dre?
Right.
And Dre's like bodyguards, like, so I don't know, like they didn't talk a whole lot. Dre was really so nice, and so I think the thing that inspired me most about him was how earnest he was. He was still like, it's cool to see musicians who've been working their entire lives for longer than I've been alive and still have a curiosity, despite all the success, despite literally he's heard everything. And he was just very inquisitive and really just very, very lovely guy. And listen to him talk about the hologram, the Tupac hologram.
Oh, really?
Coachella.
Yeah. And it's, yeah. It was Coachella?
What
year was
the
that?
first time they did it. I don't know.
I saw that.
5 or 6
It was
years ago or
fucking
whatever.
insane.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird, but he was talking about just that experience of kind of coming up with that idea and then talking to Tupac's mom about it. And
it was his idea?
Seeing people, seeing people literally pass out when that happened. I mean, I can't imagine seeing that as his mom. How weird that must have been, but everyone grieves differently. So it's just like,
yeah, that's weird.
It seems weird to me, but I don't know. Maybe if I lost a son, I'd want to see a hologram. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
it's interesting. Well, it's weird. It is.
But he was an icon, and so it was just a really powerful moment, and we were just staring at the future in a very weird way. But anyways, so he talked about that, and then he invited us back to the studio, which was it's like, I don't know, like I just kind of like blew apart. I was like, I'm all over the place. My parts are just floating in space. I'm so excited. Like, you want us to come back? And I'm just like, you know, like, I still haven't touched my phone. He's just like bumping tracks, the unreleased shit. Like I think he actually played us some R. Kelly and stuff that no one would ever hear. And he just was incredible. He was so kind, and we listened to some of S tracks. How
did his music sound when he was bumping it in his own
studio?
Yeah.
His friends were giving him shit because this was pre Apple Beats deal, and they were just giving him shit. They're like, "Oh, turn up your Dre speaker," like it's just like just giving him shit. And
did you try to like insert yourself somehow and be like, oh, I'm like, work with me, kind of?
I was gonna ask the same question.
No.
Like if you approached that, or you just didn't.
Left your card behind.
No.
Drop the Eminem.
And
thing.
I truly think that like if someone's in the room
she
that I don't know,
thing yet.
And I'm hosting. No, I did.
Oh, you did?
I had already had it, and I don't know.
Did you tell him that?
I don't know that he put the two together.
Right.
I mean, I would imagine that he knew.
Right.
I don't see why he wouldn't have known. But
he would have known that, I would have thought.
There's a lot of details.
At that point,
I'm
and
sure
if you have that thing, to me, it's completely within reasonable. It would be weird for you not to like mention it to him at that. Like,
I wrote the hook for Bad Guy.
Right.
It was nice to meet you.
No, but it would be like odd if you spent the night with the guy. Like, he worked. Like, it's not like he doesn't work with Eminem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
That would be very bizarre.
It would be bizarre if you didn't know.
It would be bizarre.
So let's assume that Dre did know.
Yeah.
I still didn't talk, and I don't know. Like in my head, like if I'm the host and there's one person in the room who's not talking, I'm gonna want to inquire. You know, I'm gonna sense like this person's quiet. Like, how do I engage? And so he asked like a few questions in the studio, and S played him a few tracks that we were working on, and
okay. So there you go.
Yeah.
So I did hear.
Yeah. So it's just like I felt like at this point, like not touching
good.
my phone and me really just listening and shutting the fuck up.
Yeah.
It just felt like right for the room. I mean, this guy, again, like, not only has he heard everything, he's also, I mean, what am I going to say? It's going to be really important to me, but who fucking cares? You know? Great. Good job. You know? Cool. Great voice. Bye. Forget you in a second. Yeah. You know?
Oh, man.
Yeah, no.
You're pretty funny. You should go into comedy.
He's telling it like it is.
Much different story.
What?
Don't you think? Being a funny person in real life is,
I
don't know. I'm like, I don't know. Do we know comedians? Do I know comedians?
Yeah. Do you, when you're on stage, maybe. Yeah, when you're on stage, do you have good banter with the audience? Are you like this? Is this part of your personality come through?
I try, yeah. I try to be funny. I always default to the voice that I've done a gajillion times since I've been here, which is something I don't even notice anymore.
Which is what?
And will also just prevent me from ever listening back to this podcast, which is just like like that kind of, just like, hi guys, like dressing up everything, because I can't be, something has to be cloaked.
Hi guys.
Yeah, just like, hi guys. I'm telling you, that smut lady, I was like, that is like my Aunt Teresa in Tyler, Texas. Like, that is my Aunt Beverly on my dad's. Like, it's just like that woman, that voice was like so many females in my life saying something that sounded, I don't know, like something someone would say in a lucid dream. And just like, what? But she was from Virginia. Fun fact, that stranger was from Virginia.
What's been the reaction to the album Smut? And like, also specifically, did you get any interesting reactions to the using that as the title?
Yes. Strangely, and not so strangely, a lot of weird Facebook messages from creepy men. A lot. Just like, oh, let me check this out. I'm like, well, this was a marketing tactic I wasn't aware of at the time, but now that I'm like, you guys are definitely my demographic for sure.
Now that you're tapping into it,
I'm like, oh god, it's the underbelly of the underbelly, you know.
Oh man.
Yeah, but the reaction's been
underbelly.
Warm. Underbelly?
Yeah, it's bad.
I know.
Especially in this context.
I know. Underbelly.
It's gross.
Look right there in his underbelly.
Look at that smut in his underbelly.
Yeah. Underbelly. Ew. I immediately see like a piggy belly. Like a little pot belly, like
right.
Diaper bottom piggy.
Ugh.
Underbelly.
So what happened with the underbelly of Smut?
It was received kindly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm fine. Good.
Yeah.
I think that Smut was maybe more for me more than anything, and it was just kind of like the cool things that happen when you're open and you just make music that feels good to you. Mm-hmm. So it's hard for me to separate that, and I mean, it's a success because of that for me. Right. So, but there were a few reviews on it. I don't know. Yeah. I just feel like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm like running in place. Do you feel like that?
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
I'm just running in place.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, no one knows who the fuck I am, and I don't know that I should be figuring out ways and spending so much time and energy on just like creating new content.
Yeah.
And that's the work.
Uh-huh.
And so it's just,
and keeping your
and it makes me
up.
It makes me feel like I'm doing something when I'm supporting a record, but when that record is like, it comes and goes so fucking quick, that it's just like there's a very weird depression. I mean, a depression that happens.
Depression,
so it's just
and
like,
it also becomes harder to like, how hard it is to make these fucking things usually.
Yeah.
Like, it takes so much. And then when that happens a few times, like where it just comes and goes, you're like, it's even hard to get the motivation to keep making them. You're just like, really? I got to do this again?
But I wouldn't do anything else.
Does that feeling hit the next day after it comes out for you guys?
I mean,
the release day is like not a big deal. I'm like, meh. It's always like the figuring out how to portray the new songs live and being really eager to do that like perfectly. But then performing just makes me, it's not that I don't like it. It's not that I'm fine on stage.
Yeah. It
just doesn't feel, I've been saying it's like the right direction, wrong lane. Like, it just feels like not really my lane anymore. Like, I don't know, performing live is just not where my whole heart is.
Right.
It's something that I do when it creates other opportunities, or when it, pays for my living. I'll do it, but I don't know. I just would rather be in the studio. So it's like that depression kind of starts and manifests as anxiety in a bunch of different ways the second the record is finished.
Right. Yeah.
The waiting period of like waiting on a release, like a date, like first you get the date and it's just like so much build up for, audience of one. It's just like the build up is for me, and like no one else is thinking, no one ingests music like that anymore. So it's just, the way that I'm thinking about music is, it feels like I'm just starting to catch up with how things are done now.
I know, but it's just,
you can't.
It's like how you can trick yourself into keep making things.
Yeah.
You know what
Do
I
you
mean?
feel like, I don't feel like I have to, it's really the only thing that makes me feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I mean that trick.
Yeah. You mean it like,
keeping, I mean, I mean that in the same way. I mean, just like how
keeping
you get,
the vivacity.
Yeah, the enthusiasm for it. Keeping your passion for life alive. Fighting off depression, I guess is another way of putting it. But don't you think the live experience gives you something that the studio experience can't give you? Like, I don't know. Once I'm on the road, I like it. I like performing. I like. You don't like performing for people? You don't like doing that? Is any part of you like it?
I like the camaraderie of it with my bandmates. I like that.
What about the feedback you get from people immediately? No. The
feedback at shows?
Yeah.
That's never really been fun.
Really?
Because people are so quick to project who they think you are. Sorry. I gathered around a merch table. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like, I don't know. It feels like I'm being imposed upon the second I'm done. I don't like, there's like a personal space. There's like a weird anxiety tied into performing that I still haven't quite figured out. I used to put labels on it super quickly. So I'm slow to say that I hate playing live. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't really figured out what it will take for me to love it.
Yeah.
And I don't know I mean, maybe just not being on a 15 passenger, maybe it's the comforts that make me not like playing shows. I don't like, being on time to something, a load in, and then the sound guy's like nowhere, and you're like, cool. Well, I drove 9 hours.
Yeah.
Sorry that you have to eat lunch and you're,
And then you have a bad attitude.
Yeah. And then like when you're on the road, it's just kind of like.
Yeah, I'll say this. This is really true. Like the sort of like, I'm going to try to word this in a way that's not gnarly, but like.
Word it in the gnarliest way.
The Bush League's vibe of like, or you know what I mean? Like that level.
Yes.
The lower levels of it, it's harder and harder. People don't really understand. Also, you're dealing with shitty sound systems sometimes, and like so and people go there, they compare you to when they went and saw U2, or some shit like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's like
I don't
you
like
and
the
you're like,
feedback,
there's like
really.
a house guy, and it's like he's pissed off at you already, and you have to like set up all your gear ahead of somebody else in front like 10 seconds before you go on.
It's
and
the
then
schlepping. I'm like,
going,
every day is South by Southwest,
it's
except
like,
it's just like,
yeah.
where we park. It's just
like,
kind of like, ugh.
So, yeah, and then it's, yeah.
How many stairs do we have to carry this gear?
And so if you do a whole tour like that, it is really... It's absurd. It gets to the point, and you can't complain about it, because if you do, everybody's like, "Oh, poor rock and roll star." Like the minute you do that, but it's laughable half the time.
It is laughable. Here's another thing: my body, somewhere down the line, like 2 years into touring, figured out that I don't like this world, and so I physically started I would get sick every fucking tour, and my label was just kind of always like, yo, I remember this one specific tour, it was just like I got bronchitis. Like my voice just fucking went, and we were in Portland, which is a quick 32 hours from Texas. Like we had just driven across the country. So my body just, it started this
revolt.
Yeah. Like where my body would say like, no, we don't want to, before I had the choice. So it was just kind of figuring out ways to hold on in an environment that is just it's an underbelly.
It's chaotic. I can see exactly what you're saying. Something happens to me where I kick into this like Midwest work ethic, dude, and I just go into it so hardcore. And I get into it in that way, and almost like laugh at the absurdity of it, like especially like when it's like a thing like what I just described with the sound guy and the feedback and all that. It's almost kind of like, you know, like being in like a hailstorm and going to God, like, bring it on. I can, you know, like it's so funny.
Like you just like
just whatever.
Parallel park that van.
Yeah, like what the fuck
fucking
ever.
got it.
I'm going to still make this show insanely good. Like
I will drive through this blizzard so that I can make it for a 4:00 load in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just like for this unfulfilled writer / non-existent. I mean,
how are ticket sales? Not so good.
Not great.
Not
great.
Sounds like you should be writing for others more and just stick to the studio.
Think that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a routine in the studio.
Yeah.
There's a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance.
Routine is something artists have a hard time coming by. I mean, routine, you know what I mean? Because if you don't have a 9 to 5... and you have to make your own hours and stuff like that.
I'm still, like, I am very ritualistic.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time with creating a routine.
Yeah, me too.
That's where I need, like, a fucking trainer.
Have you written for others?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
Well,
Eminem.
other than Eminem.
There's been, like, a couple of other hip-hop artists, a few others. There's a few Texas artists that I've collaborated with or co-wrote songs with. I mean, I co-wrote SMUT with Aaron, and also just now started being officially hired as a producer on stuff. So
that's good.
Which is, I'm like, this is my suit.
Yeah, that's
telling people what to do.
You did that too, right, Joe? Started producing.
A little bit.
I really like it, but what I need to, I think my shortcoming is not, sometimes I feel like I'm not able to communicate the way that I would like to in terms of musicality. Like I didn't go to school for music, and so like a lot of my bandmates who did, you know, like just by playing with them over the years, like I've learned so much just through them. Like they were my textbooks when it came to like music theory and stuff.
Yeah.
But outside of that world, like I just didn't have the language to communicate when I was making, you know, records in 2010, 2011. Like I didn't have the language to communicate what exactly it is that I wanted. So I feel like the last 10 years was just like figuring out how to say that and say it like where it feels like my brain is like satiated. Like, yes, that's what you wanted to say. You know that feeling of like being gratified with, I said exactly what I needed to say and how I wanted to say it, and it's received. So once that started happening, it just like little like you know, bursts of what's the chemical in your brain that's endorphins would just like be like, yeah,
what do you think
like,
makes a good producer?
This is what you should do. Someone who is open and funny. I think humor goes a long fucking way in a studio.
I think it's about building the other artist up psychologically. Yes. Like you have to almost be their like
psychologist. Yeah.
Don't you think?
Absolutely. I think people who are creative and are in a studio, I think once everyone's wheels get turning in their own way, it's really easy to like isolate and just like create your own lane where you're just like not involving anybody else. But I do think that it is a constant thing that one has to remind themselves that it is not your record and it is not about making what you want. Like, let this person speak, and this is theirs, and this is their passion project. And so at the end of the day, it's like whatever it is that they want.
Yeah, well, the best producers bring out the best in the artist they're producing.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of figuring out my language. And also, the term producer has been thrown around so hard in 10 years. And I'm like, but what do you do?
Yeah, it can mean,
I'm like kind of forgetting, like, I'm like, well.
Could be somebody who goes and gets the coffee all the way to somebody who writes and records and sings the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
it's like every job in between. It's like it's a job that doesn't really have a direct definition.
Or a job that gets credit where credit is due.
Sometimes.
I'm very much that person. I'm like, am I the girl who's like, well, I deserved that. Like, I feel like just in this period of growth and just like newness in my life, like I am so territorial with ideas and
with your weed vape. Can I say that?
Oh shit, I'm sorry, man.
Jesus, this
guy. Shit, I'm so sorry.
This guy
can see where your head's at. Don't you want to hear me drone the fuck on?
I do, actually.
Oh man.
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
It's actually good that you stopped, because the fact that I don't remember what the
fuck
I
was
was
talking about with ideas.
tells me everything. Okay.
Territorial, like you're territorial with ideas.
Yeah, I'm like,
an interesting point.
Because I don't know. I feel like everyone's roles in the studio nowadays there's not a clear division. It's just kind of like, I think that I like that. I want to know what everyone's role is. And
what's your sign?
Let's guess.
Virgo? I don't know. Scorpio?
I used to think that I had a really good talent for Libra rising.
I'm a Libra.
Wait, I'm a Libra moon. You're a Libra?
Yeah.
I fuck with Libras.
I know. We're artists.
I love Libras.
Snoop Dogg is a Libra. I just found that out.
That's the third time that you've mentioned Snoop. I also love him. Oh, yeah, he was on the Tonic. Wait, what were you saying right before that?
What's your sign?
Oh, yeah, guess.
Aquarius?
Yes. Well, how did you guess that?
Well, it was
Wikipedia?
It was my fourth guess.
I wish you wouldn't have told me what yours was. I get to guess yours.
Yeah, go for it.
I get 3 guesses.
Okay.
I make the rules.
That gives you a 25%
first guess
of getting it right.
I'm going to say Cancer.
Nope. There's a clock ticking.
Yeah, come on. This part is boring.
Sorry. I'm going to say, are you a wild card? Like, do most people get it wrong? Where they're like, I never thought you were Sagittarius.
No one's ever brought it up.
Yeah. Because you know why? Because who fucking cares?
Right.
But I'm like, what can I know more about me? How can I know more about me?
Touch the cable. Guess the other two. Yeah, I'll fix it. There you go.
Even the fucking sound equipment's like, shut the fuck
up. Now you completely shut
up. No, it's working now.
Mine is out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Guess you'll never know.
There you go.
Rather.
Great.
We'll never know what your sign is.
What's your sign?
Wait. Are you a Gemini?
This guy.
You wouldn't have got it.
January.
Me, my father, and my grandfather.
Okay, now we go around and guess days. No,
but I was trying to get to the point where why do you think everything needs to be organized? Like, where does that organizational, like, everything in its right place?
My ego, because, like, if I
you know your ego is not your amigo.
No, it's not. But it also stunt doubles as like self-preservation sometimes. Yeah. Like I'm like, I get defensive because like sometimes people get fucked over and you learn these weird things and your brain just is like on a weird path. And so
you want things to be more organized.
I want things to be more organized because I don't know. I'm maybe a little too focused on like giving credit where credit is due. And I don't like that mindset in the studio. And it's something that happens when
policing ideas kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't fuck with that in studio, but it's like a part of my anxiety post of just kind of like, I don't know, just it's like the dilapidation of a house that you just fucking built. Yeah. It's just like a part of it, like, and I don't like that. And so, I don't know. There's just so many anxieties that go to like post record making going into touring. Like there's so much that I'm still learning. I don't know like what stems from what or like, but I think I like organization because a lot of times things in my head feel messy and very blurred.
Yeah.
But it's just not the way it is. And so it's.
Is your apartment messy?
I'm incredibly clean.
Really?
Oh, like OCD.
Really?
OCD.
I wish I was like that.
Really?
Oh my God.
Oh, I cannot.
Just have her over. She'll clean the place in a second.
Well, we gotta be real homies. Like I don't fuck with other people's mess.
Come on, dude. That's
like you worked real hard on this mess. I'm not gonna come in and disrupt it.
Years of work.
No, that's how did you get to be that way? Or were you just always like that?
I mean, maybe I'm sure there were little inklings that I was going to be like that, but I think I got to be like that when I started working as a young adult.
Was like all footloose and fancy.
Everything
free.
that I read about Aquarians, I'm like, I don't feel like that. I don't feel like Mother Earth. Like we're all like, yes, but I'm not like I don't know. Aquarians are always just kind of portrayed.
Do you have a prayer life? Do you pray or do you believe in God?
I was raised to believe in God. It's hard to get away from that once you're raised on it. I would definitely like to believe that we're all a part of something bigger than ourselves. I don't know that we are. I think it feels good enough. It's always felt good enough to me just to wonder. I think that's what everyone's doing because I'm like, you don't fucking know.
Nobody knows. But it's like what your faith is. or do you pray? I think if you pray or not, that's a big call out.
Yeah, I mean,
because I think some atheists and then they say, oh yeah, I pray. It's like, okay, well then you're not really an atheist if you're praying to something.
Well, I like the idea of there being an afterlife. I think everyone does. Everyone doesn't want to. I don't know that I want to believe like that it just fucking ends. It's over. But I also don't want to spend eternity. I'm like eternity.
But I don't think
I
don't think it can just end.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's gonna just end.
I do know like no one's got it right. Like I mean that's the thing. Like no one has it. You know.
That's your feet touching it all the time.
All right.
Dude.
You need to get a new fucking cable, dude. So,
you guys.
The gear wears down after 80 episodes.
Cable.
Get a cable. No, but
how long after?
No, hold on. I wanted to. She was on a good point about what happens after we die. That was a good one. I didn't want to go off of that.
Nothing happens. We die.
Do you ever just like chime into your own convo and you're like, I
hate
us all. I hate us. Like if you were to listen, you ever have those moments where you're like, if I were that person listening to us, I would hate us.
So many people are going to listen to this and possibly some will hate us. But I think a lot of people.
Do you ever have those moments though where you're like on the train with your friend and you're like, Melissa, shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like someone's voice where they're like, oh, and he was like those tones. And I was like, I don't know, just like do it. Like,
And I have those friends. I love those friends. But, like, sometimes I'm just like, can you please be quiet? Because the man across from us is, like, looking at us like we're dumb, and we're not. But that's why I love being in New York, because, like, the self-awareness, like, it just goes, like, I had too much space to think about, like, what people thought of me. So I'm, like, shedding that now.
Why'd you pick Queens?
Because my girlfriend lives there. It's easy.
Oh. So you got a friend.
Was she already here?
Yeah, she was.
Are you guys living together?
I mean, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I pay rent at another place, and it's fine. The people there are really nice. But I haven't been in a roommate situation, and
so that's nice.
it's like I'm like 23 again, all over again.
You were
like
single for a long time after
single,
the divorce?
living alone. It was so dope, and my apartment was rad, and I knew that, like, that was like the twilight, like it was like, enjoy it before it just, like, it's dust in the wind, because this apartment, this washer and dryer, the stackable, this huge closet, like, these things are not going to be a part of your life in New York. So enjoy. And I soaked up I did laundry every day for, like, the last 2 months. I was like, doing laundry every day.
You like doing laundry every day?
Yeah, I do.
God, I want to be like that.
I love. It's just I'm saying this is a
laundry
ritual. So, like, I'll lose my shit on tour.
Yeah.
There's specifically a time.
That really explains why. I function well on tour. That's why, because I can just, like, live in one pair of pants for 6 months.
Nope.
I can do that.
I can't stand it.
I can do that.
I have
something
to, like,
about
a
me
shower
likes that,
has to happen,
you know?
like, every day.
No, I need that too, but
sometimes you don't get it.
Yeah, sometimes you don't get it.
Yeah, I don't.
I go to the yoga on the road now. I do like
Really?
showers at the yoga place. I took a shower right before I came here, not in my house.
Again, I feel like it's, like, different for dudes on tour.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, I can just, like, pee on the side of the road. It's like that mentality everywhere. For me,
right.
I mean, I have girlfriends that are musicians that also tour that, like, just are good at it because they don't need those things too. They're just like,
some people like it.
But
I like it. I know what you mean about living in the studio, but I love performing too.
Really?
I do, and that makes it okay, like those crazy feedback moments and all that shit, because it's like I actually really love performing. I mean, part of me dreads it too, so it's not like I don't get it. You know, I'm getting ready to go on tour right now.
Really?
As soon as I leave here, I'm going to Canada tonight.
That's right.
I'm going to Toronto.
Oh. You got a week run.
So
That's
it's
cool.
like, yeah, like
and
I'm
then
doing.
you got a European run.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
shit.
Yeah. So I'll be living what we're just talking about in moments.
Well, now that, as you were talking,
You know?
I realized
But
that,
I'm
like,
looking forward to it.
You
It'll be
can't
fun.
really be. If you started out playing music, like, it was inserted, performing was a part of it. Like,
Yeah,
we've
that's
all
how-
been,
Yeah.
like, taught, like, that performing is a
That's
part
how
of
I
this.
started doing it, though. I mean, I started
Exactly.
in high school in a professional blues rock band playing 5 nights a week.
And you probably loved it.
I loved it. I made
Yeah.
$50 a night in high
Yeah.
school. It was crazy.
See, I'm still, like, I want those moments again, the purity of just, like, not giving a shit and, like,
Yeah.
like, drink tickets are my payment again. Like, it's just like,
Right.
those are the most.
The beginner's
yeah,
mind.
the beginner's mind. And
That's
so
the
it's just.
Zen thing. Have you ever read any of that stuff? The Zen and the beginner's mind?
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
I think I just made that
I
title.
haven't read it.
Zen
No, because it doesn't exist.
I think it's Zen in the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
It doesn't exist.
No, I just made up Zen in the beginner's mind. There's probably
He's gonna write it when he gets home.
There's probably a book that is called that.
It's so fucked up, bro. And I also
Can you
fucking
Google?
agreed. I was like, I think I know it.
She's like, oh yeah, I
Don't-
read that.
No, but there is one called Zen in the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. That's a book. So I did. Then I was
Great.
yeah. So that's a book.
Really?
Yeah. Zen in the Art of Motorcycle
Zen and the
Maintenance.
Birds of Appetite.
Is there Zen in the beginner's mind?
Zen and I think there might be. Hold on.
There probably is.
Yeah. Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind by Shuren Suzuki.
Yeah, that's who I'm.
Audible. So it's Zen Mind, comma, Beginner's Mind.
Can I show you
That's the title.
the book that I got as I was walking out the door?
Was it this book?
No. Here's a big part of why I don't like touring. Have you heard of misophonia?
No,
I've
what is
got
that?
It literally means the hatred of sound.
Misphonia?
The hatred of what?
Sound.
Oh, really?
Misophonia,
Sound.
yeah.
You have that?
Yeah, it makes touring really difficult. It's certain sounds though. It's one of the strangest things. It's also like I've had it my whole life. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Misophonia.
What is that? How did you find out about it?
Well, because I always had it, and just as I've gotten older, like I see that it is a thing that I've just always fucking had. I remember being in my car seat and feeling certain ways, like when
Strong reaction to specific sounds.
Are you Googling that?
Misophonia
like,
may
I would
cause a
feel
reaction to sounds
Yeah,
such
okay.
as dripping
anger.
water. I know what that is.
I would feel like not just like pet peeve anger, like
So
Right.
what sounds trigger you?
I'm just curious as how you find out
smacking is a big one.
that smacking.
Smack-
Have
but
I
it's-
made sounds on
No,
this?
no.
Hey,
And no one, if you were eating, you were just like in the mic.
it would just drive you nuts.
So
I
ASMR
wouldn't be
is
there.
an
But
option.
here's my question: how does somebody find out that they have like a pathological aversion to sounds to the degree where they would have to figure out if they have some kind of condition and then find out that they do have a condition? I'm just perplexed as to how anyone discovers that they have this.
Well, because you start
And
talking to
also
people.
talking to
Sorry,
them, 'cause
you
my
start.
sound aversion is when you're not talking to
I'm
the
so
mic.
sorry.
That
And I'm like
makes
talking
my
I'm
skin
like
crawl.
I'm so real that I just forget that there's a mic there, and I'm just like talking, talking everywhere with the mic. I realized that
That's wild.
because I started talking to other people about it, and the more I talked about it out loud, because anytime
What
that
if
I'd be
I
like,
have that and I just am just discovering I have that right
you
now?
might.
How will I?
A certain song needs to trigger some sort of
Oh
reaction.
no, it never
or-
happens in songs. It's always
No,
like
not
a
songs. Sound.
oh,
A certain
sounds.
sound.
You
Yes.
said song though.
Did I? Did
No,
you?
He
Tonic,
did. He did.
Did I? Did you?
He did. I'm the police.
So, but what's the trigger?
I'm the
Is
word
it an
police.
annoyance or has something happened?
Well, I just I
You
well
just
when I
wanna-
was younger, I remember mimicking it, like when my mom would eat, it would like make me physically angry, and then I would be like, I would mimic it in her face, which is like evil, just being like, I don't know, like eating a way you eat isn't right or wrong. Like
Yeah.
do you know what I'm saying? So it was always, every time that I said something out loud, specifically
Oh, that
to
is
family
evil.
members.
What like you? They
Just
must
like-
have thought you were a demon child.
Do you know?
Who is this demonic
So,
child?
yeah.
It's like what?
Just
So
extreme
what did they-
sensitivity to sound.
What
And,
did your parents do when you're mimicking them as a kid? Did they say, "Hey, that's not nice"?
well, they would be like, I mean, not in these exact words, but like, shut the fuck up and let me eat my food. Like,
Right.
it was always just kind of
Mm.
dismayed, because who the fuck would know that like mimicking is a symptom of misophonia? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and so once I started reading about it, I was like, oh my God.
Is
like,
it a symptom?
yeah.
Oh, it is.
And when I read it, I remember just being like,
Wow.
I don't do that now. Now I
that's-
just, you know, if there's someone that I don't know very well that is doing something that is driving me insane,
Yeah. You just hit them.
no, I'll just get up. Like if it's like
I know,
eating
okay.
situation, like we'll just get up and leave the room. Or if it's one of the things that makes touring really hard.
Can I see
Because
that book?
eventually everyone is gonna.
Does
It's not just
something,
Look at that. Look
You
at
know?
that picture, though. It's in the center of the brain.
yeah.
It's like enragement right in the,
Yeah.
the cerebral cortex.
But it's also, I mean, there's a laundry list of like things that just I can't. It's like a thing I can't unsee. Like if someone there's like a visual triggers. like on the way over here, there was a guy on the train just going like this. And it just drives me fucking insane.
God, New York's going to drive you crazy, I
But
think.
that's the thing, is that it actually kind of mellows me out.
Oh, because everybody's like...
Because everyone's doing something.
Yeah.
And it just kind of like, it kind of like zens me and brings me back to that beginner's mind, Joseph.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
This is an interesting side of you, though, this whole thing.
Oh, it's actually it's a large
part of you. What do you mean?
It's a good thing Dre didn't make those noises when he was eating dinner.
But then in certain I will say I can't fully. I'm still learning
Imagine if you
about
start
it because it's
mimicking
just kind of like. Can you imagine?
You can't control yourself. You just start mimicking the way he's eating, but it's at your dinner with Dre.
I'm like embarrassed for that thing that never happened. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no. Did I? He didn't. He chewed like a real gentleman. But there's also, it's almost down to circumstance. Like if I'm trying to watch a movie, if you're deterring my focus or I'm tired.
Yeah.
And there could be periods of time where like anything that you do, it kind of bothers me, but not to the point of being irate. That must be
hell in romantic relationships, though. Like, right? I mean, oh my God.
I'm so grateful to be dating someone that has been the first person in my life that has acknowledged it, as it deserves. Like respecting that I have this thing that just makes it really hard for me sometimes to be like social or eat dinner with everyone when I'm like, looking at my homie and I'm like, I'm gonna punch you in the face and then take your plate away. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's just kind of like someone that has acknowledged that, because it is torturous in some situations, especially on the road. Where I love these people and so much, when I'm like, bro, can you spit out your gum? Like you're killing me. Like I love you, but like if I look back there one more time and you're chomping, because it's the visual it's the visual with like, I just have to say, like, I know this is a weird request.
God, that is crazy.
It's so weird to say,
crazy.
but like, can you stop shaking your leg? Or like, can you like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I mean, on tour, it's reasonable,
like, Scott, can you like stop banging the steering wheel? But his wife also has misophonia. So like, Scott's in the know, like my keyboard player. Like Alicia, his wife, is someone that I talk to pretty often about it. And it's so funny, the conversation, just like, there's a girl that's eating carrots next to me that like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just fucking weird. The laundry list is insane. Like, it's really just about the...
But I think everybody gets annoyed by certain behavioral tics in other people, though. That's like where it gets like blurry, because like on some level it's like, how do you
everyone has
like
form of that.
Everyone has a form of that.
Sure.
Like I hear what you're saying,
that
it's extreme, but it's like
annoys you.
But all of us too, like anytime we're with anybody for like a long period of time
in a vehicle or in
like,
a closed
oh my God, if
space.
they keep doing that, it's gonna drive me insane.
When I tour with Joe, I know I can't eat beef jerky when I drive because it drives him bananas. It's just like,
What do you do when you eat beef jerky?
It used
it's
to.
just the smell of the beef jerky.
I didn't like the way it smelled.
Oh, there's a whole van etiquette.
There's
I'm like,
a list of things you do with
like,
any
shape
partner and any relationship, stuff you cannot do next to that person that will trigger them.
Yeah, but how often do, like, you know what I'm saying?
But
like,
I don't give
there's
a shit if you ate
there's a
beef jerky,
discomfort.
It's like there's stuff on the road.
It's not a hard rule or anything.
Of
it's
course
just like
not.
when he opens it, I'm like, that shit stinks. That's what he's talking about. That's all it is.
But people are so like embedded in their own ways. Like, we all eat a certain way, and that way is fine. Like,
Yeah,
You're not eating incorrectly.
Or the guy chewing gum, and you're gonna look back and he's chomping. So what? Like
exactly.
Jimmy,
so I can't be like, I can't put a
Right.
daily reminder. I can't be like, Joseph, remember what we talked about yesterday about you not chewing so loud? Can you do that again today?
But
And
how
they're like,
often
oh
is that? How often does something like that go through your head?
You really have to push it to a point. Like,
Oh, okay.
it makes me so uncomfortable to have to ask grown ass people. Like, it's not, and it's something I usually try to avoid. It's like usually the last.
Do you say it's like, hey, do you fault yourself before you?
I kind of like
Or what-
kindly say, like, I preface it by saying, like, I know this is fucking weird. It's something that like plays a part in my people understand anxiety.
Yeah.
And
so
in this way, it's just like a
people on
sonic
your
anxiety.
team, they know this about you.
Yeah.
And then you're just basically like, hey,
But
you're doing the thing. Can you stop that thing?
when you've done a thing for, like these guys have done this thing,
yeah.
40 plus years, so just kind of like, I don't want to be that person for
Right.
you, especially in this environment. Like, like when someone's loading in and you've been chewing gum because you've been driving. So it's just kind of like, you just chew on things when you're driving. And unfortunately for me, like everyone's got their stuff. So I just don't want,
How
I don't want it to be, because I am chill. I don't want people to confuse this as me not being a chill person. It's just kind of like, I've managed. So
Yeah.
it's, I don't want people to feel uncomfortable. So I wouldn't want to be like, hey buddy, I'm going to take that snack away.
You should act.
Me?
Yeah. You're good. You're like you're
quick on your feet.
You're really good with your voices and all that kind of stuff too. Like,
Really?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. From judging from your reaction, I guess it's not a myth. It's
I
not
don't
a
know.
hit.
Earlier you said
You're
I
like-
should be a comedian, but
Yeah, actor, comedian. I don't know. You have a theatrical presence that's, I think, like a gift.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, I think. Anyway, but that's real interesting. This whole thing, and I feel for you on it. It's because that is like it's like
It's
a hypersensitivity,
It's so weird.
and that would make things very, very difficult,
But,
especially when we're
you
talking
know,
about the crazy road, like
exactly.
the crazy
And so
van
like
road,
when you're on like the quick radio trips, you're like,
Yeah.
do you know what I'm saying? Like where you do a stop by the radio, like what's the road like? Everyone
Yeah,
that hasn't
hey.
been on the road,
Well, a lot of people
Doesn't
don't have
know.
that much sensitivity as well. Like, so
Right.
that those two things on top of each other make it extraordinarily difficult. But do you like, this might sound silly, but like these things, like these Bluetooth headphones, they like take out a lot of noise. Do you get solace using like headphones and putting mantras on, or any kind of like
to get rid of that?
to get rid of that, like in those situations? Like these are noise canceling.
Yeah, like so like on like plane rides or you know,
Right.
like on a flight or something. If I mean, I really like I've been flying Southwest for like the past year, so I'm just
Yeah.
gonna like when I'm boarding,
Yeah.
I like literally scope out like I'm
Every
like who's a
situa-
talker, who's a leg shaker, like who's gonna talk about their job this whole fucking flight
Right.
loud, dude in slacks, like not sitting by you.
Why
like
not
do you know what I'm
noise
saying?
canceling headphones?
Because noise canceling headphones still pick up low end very well, to the fact that I can like it's exhausting. I just looked at you and you're exhausted. I'm exhausted by talking about it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
exhausting. Like
Yeah.
it's literally I'm like, this is my job. Like sound is my job. So it's
So
fucking
interesting.
weird.
Yeah. I wonder if there's an alternative gift from it too, like a ultra sensitivity to sound that's a benefit.
maybe. Yeah.
How long have you been aware of this?
Oh, my whole life.
I know, but like this, the
Oh,
name of
misophonia,
it, and the fact that you could relate to it with and identify.
I think, I mean, I've heard the word at least 8 years ago.
Okay.
But it's just now like extensively being researched.
Is there any
And
kind
I'm
of
waiting
medication?
I'm waiting for that pill. Waiting.
Wow.
Please. Yeah.
Are you on any kind of medication?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm extremely
medicated.
Extremely well medicated.
Well, weed
medicates
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to take Xanax for anxiety, but I didn't like the way it made me feel, so I medicate with weed.
Have you ever tried kava?
That shit sucks.
That's fucking child's play. Like when
Hey.
my friends that go, they're
is.
like,
It is.
it's like Coke, and I'm like,
Expensive.
your system is fucking baby pure then, because I had 2 and I still feel nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
I
saying?
It's not
I
like
had 7 or 9 and felt nothing. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
drink it. I go there all the time.
It's
But-
delicious. It's
not
interesting.
delicious.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's supposedly gnarly. That's what everybody says. I don't mind it, but I wouldn't call it delicious.
I bought it in powder form.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen the powder? They sell it
Yeah.
at like
Yeah,
head
that's how
shops.
they make it.
Right.
But you don't like the tea itself, like when they
I
make
go
it for
to
you?
the kava bar.
No, it's delicious.
Yeah.
There, but
Yeah.
the powder is disgusting.
Yeah, that's disgusting. I think it's not delicious anywhere.
Isn't that mainly for people who don't want to, who can't smoke weed or want to get high in other ways?
Yeah.
So,
Well, no, it's
if you're
something
doing
else.
the actual
You think
thing-
what? What was the first thing you said?
No, kava is for people who are trying to get off weed or just
Oh, yeah.
don't want
Not weed, more like hard drugs.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like alcoholics drinking somewhere that's not alcoholic kind of situation.
Right, exactly. No, it's
the
definitely
Heineken 0% alcohol.
It's definitely that.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are like should be in an AA meeting for just at the
The
kava
kava
bar.
bar.
Yes.
Just a different.
No
Yeah.
fucking question. No, they
Yeah.
are definitely tapping into that
Yeah.
demographic
That's what.
big time.
Yeah.
But it's a good one though, because
Yeah.
it doesn't lead to, I don't know, maybe
Bar setup that's not really a bar.
depending
Yeah.
on the person, it could lead to more active wild shit.
What do you mean?
Like it could lead to a relapse, I could see. Kava, but it doesn't, but a lot of people would say it can't or it doesn't. And it doesn't usually. I mean, but it could. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to endorse it fully
Good, but
for
it
people
can't. Maybe it could.
You're like, some people have
But
a
it
problem.
could, but
I
it
don't
can't.
have a problem.
But it
I
could.
can go and I'm
No,
able
no,
to quit
but
at
it can't.
any time.
Exactly. I don't want to say that, and that's
Yeah.
not even true. So,
I mean, I go. Some of my friends have problems, but I'm fully under control.
Could, but no, but it
We're
can't.
like, you like look up when we're gone. We're
But
like,
we're
we're like, bro, like we're good. Like we got it.
Could.
It could, but no,
But
it can't.
but it also
For me, no, it
might.
Me personally, I
It
mean,
could, but
All right.
all right, yeah. Let's put a button in the kava.
Oh my god. I stepped into a booby trap with that one, didn't I?
Kava. Also, the Kava bar is a scene in itself.
Yeah.
Do you live in Brooklyn?
Absolutely.
You go to the one in Brooklyn.
No, I live in the East Village.
What's the one in East Village called? I think there's only one that I know of.
Kava Sutra.
Oh, okay. What is yours called? I can't remember, but it's such a scene.
And then my friend opened up one called the Bola Bar or whatever.
Ebola.
Bola Kava. I forget, that one is on Houston.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess we've reached the extent of what we can say about kava. Except, wait, it comes from kratom powder, right? I just remember the name.
No,
Like
kratom is different.
A root.
Oh,
Kratom is different, but they usually come together at the bar.
Wait, so what's kava's not the tea?
They have
Kava is a root. Look it up. Kava's a root.
But aren't they trying to like
And it's like-
regulate it or like make it illegal?
I don't know. But kratom is different. Kratom is like
kratom.
the opiate like replacement thing. Sometimes it
oh.
helps people get off opiates if they use
Really?
kratom. Yeah, but it is also habit forming.
Okay, well, I got the powder of it at a head shop, and
You're talking about kratom.
Yes,
That's what you're talking about. Yeah,
That's
kratom.
the tea they sell.
kratom is different
Powder.
than kava.
Oh, they're not. I thought
They're
that
not
they were
the
like.
same. No,
Oh.
No,
but
they're
you get those at
the same place. Often they come as
Gotcha.
like
Yes.
the monkey see monkey
Yeah.
do.
Yes. It's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. My friend told me about it. I'm just gonna give it a try.
Yeah, I'll take both.
Yeah. They're like, you want the white horseman? Like, you're like, yeah. You're like, it's kava with blah, blah, and blah, blah. And you're like, right, great. Does it make me feel in control and up?
In small doses, the effect of kava include muscle relaxation, sleepiness, and feelings of well-being. However, long-term use of kava can lead to a range of health problems, including malnutrition, weight loss, and apathy.
Well,
There you go.
Wait, what's the bad side effect?
I'm like, sounds good. Is she single?
Say it.
Long-term use of kava can lead to malnutrition, weight loss, and apathy.
I'd like all of those, please.
And then it says, is kava a drug? It says it's a depressant drug.
Really?
Where does it come from, though?
It's a plant.
It's like a root from. But
Yeah,
what cultures did it come from?
I had it before. Here we go. From the Pacific Islands.
Mm-hmm.
The name kava, meaning bitter, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. It's a crop. It's a root.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
That's what they use, like, socially in that culture. There was like have kava. Everybody has kava every night.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Where is that from? Shouldn't
The
we
Pacific Islands. I don't know.
I don't want to feel down.
I'm done with
down is not
kava.
me.
All right.
And kava also, again, it's like for people who, nothing against your kava and your kava bar. And I'm also just, I don't know a lot about it. So I don't want to be the naysayer that doesn't even know about the subject. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't want a tea that makes me sleepy.
Right.
And I had the tea that I thought was like liquid cocaine. I was like, oh, okay.
That's
dope.
the kratom one.
That's the kratom one.
Yeah.
Okay. But I didn't feel a goddamn thing.
Right.
So I was like, maybe I'll get it in powder form. I bought it in powder form.
It's not a good idea just to like
Well,
off the cuff to start a habit with that shit.
Well, I took a spoonful as
Yeah.
directed, and then, because it's in powder form,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, let me take a swig of this fucking energy drink. Like I'm a 12-year-old boy. I fucking swigged it down with this energy drink, and immediately my body was like, bitch, no. Like powder, and then I was like, soda and powder, and immediately fucking coughed, and powder just came out, just like threw it up, but in powder form. It was just like a cloud. And I was also putting on makeup. So I literally just was like, and just the powder, the humor in watching all of this happen as I'm doing my makeup in the mirror and throwing up powder, like trying to like do the lashes, and just the cloud of smoke. Yeah, just like it's like when you swallow a bird and like a feather pops out. It's like funny.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah. So
did you
after
ever
that,
get
I
any
just
down?
never.
You just never got it in.
It was fucking disgusting.
Well, anyway, it's good. Just don't fuck with it. That's the moral of that story. You don't need that shit.
I don't.
It's habit forming. It's good for people that are addicted to opiates. It's a way out of. It's a way to kick opiates.
Yeah.
It is. It's good for that. It saves lives in that
It's the
way.
lesser of two evils.
It's definitely a lifesaver in that realm.
Yeah.
But for people that don't have any kind of habit to just start fucking taking kratom,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good idea because it's habit forming. It's,
Did you do drugs at one point? Were you a drug addict?
I
Is that
used to
too
do
personal?
drugs.
Yeah.
I still do, but I used to too. No, that's the Mitch Hedberg joke.
I love Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah. I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too. You know that one?
No, but I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have had issues with the drugs and the alcohol my whole damn life.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
I think I would with alcohol, but I don't enjoy. Well, first of all, I think my body's allergic to it.
I don't drink.
So I just stopped drinking altogether.
I stopped drinking too.
Do you drink?
Nope.
He doesn't drink.
I don't.
He's never had any issues with anything.
Or smoke.
No.
Never liked
Never
any
issues.
of it.
Some people just have no issues.
I don't like drinking was just not my vice. Like in the few times that I did cocaine in my early 20s, I was like, whoa, this is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have just as easily been a habit. But I avoided it as much as possible. But also, it's hard to be alive sometimes. Makes sense, that you would want an escape. And especially if your life is like built on a career of inconsistencies, it's like really easy to be like, oh, I'm at a bar every night. Why not?
Right.
Do you know? Like, I'm like, of course it happens. And once
Yeah.
you understand that, it just creates like a empathy, really, for people who do have addictions.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm an addict. Yeah, I'm an addict of everything.
Yeah.
Of all the things that I like that I can't live without.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking about it yesterday because I was having this like lazy day where I was just like listening to podcasts and stuff like that and just laying around. And I don't let myself do that very often. And I did.
Yeah.
And then I was like thinking, I was realizing that I was keeping myself company through like YouTube, right? Like and podcasts and whatnot. And then I was like thinking, the actual reality of this situation is I'm just laying in this room by myself.
Yeah.
But like I've created the illusion of that I'm hanging out with Mike Tyson and his podcast, or
I love
or
those
like
moments,
those
though.
kind of things. Yeah, like but I don't know what my point was.
Well,
But just
I don't either, but I do like what you said.
it had something to do with what you said. I can't.
That's
remember.
happening more and more as I get older and just continuously like stay on the path of like smoking so much weed, where I'll be like mid-sentence. It really happens where I'm like, I am a fucking pothead. Where I'll just be like, oh, wait, was that you or was that me? And then just
How often do you smoke weed?
every day.
Every damn day.
Every damn day.
I don't, but like when I have it, then I do. But usually friends give it to me, and then I'll have it, and then I don't usually buy it.
I buy it, but I go through. I mean, I guess same. It's something that I don't do for periods of time sometimes, but
I
like
let it fall away.
Yeah.
I don't like. I'm not gonna try to chase it all the time.
Yeah, and I do like that's the indulgent side of me where I just once I start, like if I buy actual flour and then I'm like, what? Like I like the act of it. I like the ritual of buying it and rolling it and.
You roll blunts? Mm-hmm. Me too.
Little fatties.
What do you,
Little diaper babies.
Backwoods?
Backwoods.
Yeah.
Little diaper babies?
Backwoods. You know backwoods?
No.
You don't?
I also sometimes I'm like, are you fucking with me again?
I roll
like
blunts. Like the back.
like
for
the made up
backwoods.
book title that I agreed with. I'm like, if I agree with this, you're gonna be like, it's not real. I made it up. Is it a Swisher Sweet? Is that the brand?
Yeah, it's like a brand.
Oh.
Backwoods.
Of a cigarette, of cigar, what
A
is
good
it?
blunt.
Oh.
A backwoods. You like roll. You like
No,
unroll.
we don't know,
Unroll
Joe.
the tobacco.
Oh yeah, like you
Yeah.
would with a Swisher.
With a Swisher, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do it with that one though. I use the backwoods.
I like all the like white trash Swisher Sweet flavor. I'm like mango, pineapple.
Oh.
Like I like the flavor.
The ones that come like blunt rolls. You don't even have to unroll them, right?
Oh, like the hemp paper? No,
Yeah.
I just get the 2 for 99 cents,
Oh,
and then I
okay.
just empty out the tobacco.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm glad that we covered all this.
no, but it's the best way of smoking weed, I think, or one of them, because it gets that nicotine too, in the tobacco leaf.
I'm like,
And so
ooh,
it's
I
like-
want a blunt.
It's like a blunt. It's like the best of both worlds.
You get the best of both worlds. Disney?
Did you ever
Disney, anyone?
Did you ever smoke weed in England?
No. Why?
Because they roll spliffs,
Oh, and
tobacco with a little bit
With
of
the-
hash on top,
yeah.
or weed.
weed technology is insane.
They roll the spliff. That's where I discovered spliffs. I didn't even know what a spliff was. First time.
Imagine being our parents and being like, they got gummies now? Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like how much weed technology is changed.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's so much.
It's wild.
Like if I get it, and I'm like, like going into a dispensary
Yeah.
is one. It's like what I can now associate with the closest thing to like my mom letting me pick out a toy at the
Right.
store. Just
Yeah.
kind of like, it's so nice.
When's the first time you did that?
I was in Los Angeles, like, I don't know, shortly after it was legal. But even then, like, the dispensaries were it was few and far between that you'd find one.
Mm-hmm. But now, have you been recently?
Yeah. I'll go in Colorado and
They're incredible.
yeah, they really are. They have something for
Yeah.
everything, for like
Yeah.
period pain and like headaches, like migraines, backache.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
CBD. Do you mess with CBD? Maybe that'll help with the misphonia.
CBD.
Yeah.
Again, that's like
Meso-
kava to me. I'm like, I don't feel these things that you
Yeah.
guys are saying I should feel. I don't feel it. CBD is
CBD comes in all shapes and sizes, though. There's like some super high-end, high-grade CBD
Yeah.
that might affect you if
Yeah.
you explored that for this thing I'm talking about.
for yeah.
Maybe because it's a super anti-anxiety, but if you've just taken like normal versions off the shelves, you know, decent dropper versions, you probably don't feel it at all.
Yeah.
But I'm saying there's
There's
like
higher grade
there's
stuff.
it goes deep, the CBD thing. And so if you investigate super high grade, high end, you should maybe look into that.
I mean, CBD is kind of like,
It's
there was a bunch of different, I mean, I know what it is, but like,
yeah, but it's
I know
not
there's
psychoactive.
it's a huge problem with it because of all the, you know, it's like on billboards now when like so many people are in
It's in
jail
bodegas, yeah.
for, you know.
Yeah.
Bodegas in New York.
Well, it's in New York loves
York's-
it. New
yeah,
York acts
yeah.
like, because New York is so fucking jealous of LA for not having legal weed that it's like riffing on CBD like to a degree that's insane.
What is the fucking
I don't know.
hold
Hold
up
up.
here?
It's coming-
Texas
it's
is
coming in June.
fine, but like,
It's yeah.
I'm like,
It's illegal
whatever
there still.
what page you guys are on, we're like on a different chapter from a different era,
yeah.
way back. Like,
Right.
Texas is still, although Dallas is pretty, it's a blue state. Austin's actually a red zone, but it's
They're voting
just
on it in
very
June in New York.
conservative. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a vote in June, and it might go in effect.
it's legal in
August
Jersey
already.
now, right?
Is
I
it?
don't
Ish.
I don't think so.
No, then everybody'd be going to Jersey every 2 minutes.
I don't know. All I know is Colorado and California are rolling in fucking money. They have more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, it's gonna come here soon. What's left? What's left?
What's
to
left?
say?
What's next for Sarah Jaffe? So you put the album out September. Is it EP? Was it an EP or full album?
SMUT?
SMUT.
I mean, I would say it's an EP, but
EP.
I think after 7 songs, they call it a record.
An LP.
LP,
So,
yeah.
so you're working on new material. Is there something down the pipes for you?
Yeah, I would like to get back into writing again, that habit. It's hard for me to, I'm in that zone that is like where it just happens every time where you're done with a new record that still feels like I'm like, it was just released and you know what I'm saying? Like it's already feels like long ago, but it's really not. But in short, I'm just going to get back into the studio and just see what happens. There's no,
With Aaron again?
yeah, I like working with Aaron. I think he and I just have like a unlikely partnership that it was just like a refreshing surprise in my life in more ways than one. Just because
Where's the studio?
it's in Dallas. So every time for the last 6 months at least, I've been flying into Dallas at least once a month. So I'll just meet with him again. I'm sure we work so quick. I think that's why I like working with him. There's an immediacy, and it's that same immediacy that I would find when it was just me on GarageBand, of needing to hear something the way I needed to hear it. Because he wanted to top line, and so he was looking for a top liner in Dallas and just couldn't find one, and so I went in with that intention. And so This Is Better Part 1 and 2, those 2 EPs, were initially, some of them were initially written for other artists, like to pitch to other artists. And then I was just kind of like, no, these are mine. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. And then you guys started working together.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, SMUT
You gotta get
was
some-
just the two of you in the studio.
I'm like,
You got to get some New York studio hangs too.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to find
Yeah.
my pockets. Like, I'm still like, all right, let's take some swings. Like, who's ready? Who's
Yeah.
ready? You know, like,
Yeah.
so, that's really, I'm just trying to find my
Yeah.
groove.
That's cool. And it's
Yeah.
cool that you got the thing in Texas alive.
Yeah, there's such a good community. I know who my community is and like where to go and like who's down at any point in time to record, and so it's really nice to have that when I go back, and I'm ready to make a new one.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like that is a genuine feeling and genuine goal of just like trying to like lock it in a few places. Like I like that momentum and
Yeah.
knowing a few different like people that just have the same mindset, same mentality. I think that mentality is just so contagious. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
just like the like, I don't know, but let's just, it's fucking fun. It's like the one time where time just flies. It
Or
fucking flies.
time bends
Yeah.
in all kinds of ways.
All kinds of fucking ways. You're
It's
like,
like you're there-
how is it 3 a.m. Tuesday?
Yeah, no,
like,
or you're
yeah.
there for like 2 weeks and it feels like 6 months.
yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? It goes fast, but also it seems like you.
But usually, if you're in that room,
it just does
you
wild
all
shit.
experience it similarly.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Which I think is fascinating.
It's like all about being an artist that can be in that flow state the most possible, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
And it's so addictive.
It's so hard to get there, though. Always.
You think?
Sometimes.
To get in that mindset or to
Or
get
just
in.
to get into the position where you can have a thing going that's going.
I don't know.
It's not hard.
I think it's not hard in the fact that either you know it's going to happen or it's not going to. And that all comes down to the person and the energy. Like if you go into the studio one day and like something's off, like you woke up feeling off and that person did too. And it's just kind of like this two like tectonic plates just kind of like grinding up against each other. And you're like, it's not going to work. We're not going to come out of this. We clearly need a day. I just think that there are some ways that like, you know, artists can't feed themselves a lot of times and they can't pinpoint like how they feel on the map. So sometimes it's like just nice to hone in and say like, I think my body is trying to tell me that we need a fucking tea. Do you know what I'm saying? And studio artists, just the beating heart of it. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's a part of immediacy. Either you know or like you make it more difficult than it should be. Like I don't mean that in like a I know this from a up here. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just kind of that's how I'm testing the waters. Like we're just like, hey, we're in this. Like let's go. Like let's know each other very quickly. I'm going to show you exactly who I am very, very quickly. So that there can just be comfort, because
Right.
everyone's bringing their deepest insecurities like right up to the fucking plate
Yeah.
in its most in its most transparent form.
Yeah.
Like
It's a lot of intimacy.
a lot of intimacy. So like it's just like better that everyone's just kind of like. So it's just because that's the fun part is just like being fucking goofy and like seeing where it takes you. And I don't know, like just really overcompensating and tricking my brain into saying like, we're not nervous. We're not like, we got this.
Right.
We have this. So
Yeah.
just immediate and just propelling yourself out of like this mindset that it should be difficult.
Right. I guess I mean too, though, it's just I want to like live in a fully functioning recording studio where there's an engineer and people like making it happen and like living in that creative environment. Like on a regular basis.
Same.
Yeah, that's a very expensive scenario.
So expensive.
You know, so that's what I mean. Like making
I
it
see.
happen on that level.
Why did you let me go so long?
I love what you were saying. I loved what you said, though. No, it was fascinating. What you were saying was great. It was deep. I loved it.
You were just like, no, but just like,
No, but
like
then
trying
I'm-
to make it happen. Like,
No, but I'm just. Yeah.
like let's make it happen.
No,
like
you went on a different point, which I appreciated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oof.
No, that was awesome. That was like one of my favorite parts of the podcast so
Really?
far. Yeah, I loved it.
Oh.
I was getting lost in what you were saying.
Right at the end.
But yeah, I'm talking about more just like
Making it happen in like a.
financially
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but that also facilitates creatively and all that. Like that's what I mean, like getting those, like, because I just did this wild thing where I lived in this art museum on Park Avenue for 2.5 weeks.
What?
Yeah, I did this thing called it was a show I did called Inhabiting, and I lived in an art museum for 2.5 weeks.
The sixth floor, the
on the
entire-
sixth
By
floor.
yourself?
Yeah, by myself, but thousands of people came through, and I set up my art studio
Holy shit.
and painting studio, and I set up a recording studio in there too, and I lived in there, and I made tons of artwork and like tons of like music, and
Do you think the spectacle part of it just kind of like
it was-
pushed you into
it
a
was
schedule?
wild. Oh yeah, it was amazing. I had to get up. I had like the museum's open from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. except for on weekends where it's open from 9 a.m. to midnight.
Wait, so
like
were you
I
at
was
like
in
an
public?
installation?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did the podcast.
And we
out
did
of
the
there.
podcast out of there. Like,
What?
Yeah. It got written about in the New York Post. Thousands of people came through.
Holy shit.
It was
So this
crazy.
was recent.
This was recent. And
When did
And I bring
you-
it up too because it's like, as a painter, I could paint large scale and immediately have a museum crowd in there looking at what I was doing, like looking at it, and like real people, like, you know, like it was crazy because it's like, you know, like I had so much like immediate like creative facility. Plus they like got me tons of art supplies. Like it was like this creative.
That's
It was like
cool.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for like art.
Holy shit.
Right? And I just like got so creative with it, but I was like thinking like, man, how can we create this kind of situation on the regular? Like
On
and
the
that
reg,
and that's kind
yeah.
of like the studio thing I'm talking about too.
I see.
Which is like, man, if you like the way Dre lives his life 24/7, he has that. He has that real studio with engineers. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like that kind of thing. That's what I want.
I'm glad we circled back around to this because
You know
I
what I
really
mean?
want to talk about all the time how I want a home studio
Yeah.
at one of my homes or both
Yeah.
or 3 of my homes. Some people have 2 homes.
Yeah.
It's 3.
I need a bigger space. That's what I learned when I
Really?
did the museum thing. Yeah, because it was a big space. So
That is fascinating.
it was weird. I'm still
For
kind
how
of
just ended
for
last
how,
week.
how long?
2.5 weeks. It just ended last week, so I've just literally
2.5 weeks? That's
Yeah.
a long time.
It was a long time.
Do you feel like a different person?
Yeah, and I've been recovering ever since.
Really?
Yeah,
How so?
just like recovering. I was like, it was like fully like expanding myself for like that time. Like, and I was interacting with so many people too. And,
In a way that is like
that's bizarre. It was
egoless
super
and
surreal.
also it can't, like, you are a spectacle, but you can't, you yourself, like, there's this approachability that's really cool.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I love that we can live in this day and age where people still are so, like, art is just one of those things that there's always going to be, it's just like something that technology and, you know, things of the future won't ever be able to take away. Like,
Yeah.
people are always going to want to watch someone create, and how it was done will always be fascinating.
I think so, yeah. I mean, the AI will definitely get more creative as time goes on. Like, AI will be able to, like, do things like predictive movements of famous painters and combine them and then
Yeah,
do,
it's
like,
so
ran-
weird.
Yeah, like, shit like that. I'm just riffing. I don't know if it's true, but it seems like it would be. And then, like, same with songwriting. Like, AI will, like, get into songwriting and there'll probably be some hits that go big from written by AI and shit like that.
Figuring out the formula.
Figuring out formulas and like just like randomizing enough.
This is that Subway
You know
moment
what
where
I
I'm like,
mean?
Melissa, shut the fuck up. Stop talking about AI. That guy is staring at us.
Right.
I love that I've just
feel
named you Melissa. Like, why is that the name?
It fits.
Melissa, no.
I definitely have an inner Melissa.
I don't think the AI is going to have the inner Melissa that you have and the
No, I don't think so.
Sheer sass that I've got
Yeah.
cannot be replaced, you know?
No. I know. I agree. I hope so. But it could be that we live in a golden period of valuing humans.
Because we all know it's about to end.
Human creativity.
Yeah.
It could be.
There is that feeling in the air, like, everyone knows it's about to end, right?
Well, everyone's become an artist through social media. Everyone's filming their life and documenting and like everyone's being creative about how they present themselves. And that's good. But it's turned everyone into an artist. And so like now more artists are just like, hey, don't I count?
It's so weird. It's both very, very cool, and they're now paving the way.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't teach me what I already knew, but that's really cool.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish, like, it's just, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's also like the voice of this upcoming generation of music that's doing super fucking cool shit.
Yeah.
That also she doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I think that this generation is both terrifying to people that have been doing it a while, but probably no more terrifying than like what
It's always been terrifying.
fucking Tom Petty must have thought, like
Yeah. When
you
wasn't
know,
it terrifying?
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When Bob Seger started coming up.
There's a new kid on the block. His name's Bob Seger. I don't like him. I like what he wears. Bob Seger.
Like a rock.
I know
Is that him?
we could talk for another 2 hours,
Probably.
but I have to be in Brooklyn for pickup.
Oh, you're cutting this one
I-
off?
I
In
have
5
to.
Fucking
minutes.
Ehud's
I
cutting
have
this
to.
podcast
I
off.
have to.
Whoa, this is a first.
I gotta be at pickup
5
in
minutes.
25 minutes in Brooklyn.
You
Which
better
You know
is-
what's
I'm gonna
funny?
be late. I'm
you
gonna
were
be late.
you were like
What?
hinting like earlier. You were like, yeah. I said that was one of my favorite parts of the podcast. Ehud's
near the end.
right at the end. I caught
20
that.
minutes ago.
That was 20 minutes ago.
What'd you say?
He said, I said that was one of my. You have to know because it's like inside
I know what he's
baseball.
talking about.
He said, I said that was one of my favorite parts of the podcast, and he said, yeah, right near the end.
he was paying
Because
attention.
he was trying to get me to wrap it up. You see what I'm saying?
You guys are cute.
Yeah.
Libra and Gemini.
Listen,
No, we have
I
a-
was
we have a
thinking of
good
leaving you
rapport.
guys here and coming back in an hour. So
No, man, we got to wrap it up, but we have a good rapport. We've
Yeah, how
together
long have y'all
for-
known? each
we've
other?
fought on a couple of these podcasts. So.
12 years or
Really?
more.
Those are the
yeah.
good ones when we've actually had.
Yeah, the
arguments.
podcast's only been going on for under a year, but we've
Oh.
worked. I used to tour manage Joe,
Yeah.
and we did tons of music videos together,
Yeah.
live
Yeah.
stuff, and
Sweet.
Yeah,
it's been fun.
And you're leaving for Canada tonight.
tonight.
Today.
Yeah,
showing
like soon.
Toronto tomorrow.
I'm gonna go to the Kava bar and then Canada
Right.
in
Fuck
that
yeah.
order.
I'd like the Kava bar in Canada. I'm like, you guys do it better.
Yeah. And then he's coming back, and then going on a full month and a half tour of Europe with Greg
Oh,
Dooley.
fuck yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then back, and then another month and a half U.S. tour, and then he's free, hopefully.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mid-May to June. Yeah.
A lot of touring.
Where are you going on tour?
All over
Everywhere.
the place. Yeah, Europe and
Every fucking
America.
where, yeah.
You taking out a support band?
He is a support.
I am the support band.
Damn.
I'm supporting Greg.
I was
yeah.
like, please be headlining. Please be headlining.
Yeah.
Please don't have an opener. Please don't have an opener.
Yeah, but you don't like the road.
You know everything about
She
me now.
would be
I
good in
know.
New York, though.
Yeah.
For any shows that,
Definitely.
Yeah.
We should definitely
Be in the studio.
You
Yeah,
two would
get-
collaborate
do a
well together.
collab
I
on
gotta,
something. Let's do it.
I gotta
I'd be
say,
down for that.
Yeah.
Fuck
So
yeah.
well, tell people how to find you or whatever.
Find me on Twitter at Say Jaffe. You can find me on
SAY.
SAY Jaffe. Not to be confused with the journalist Sarah Jaffe, and not to be
three of you
confused
guys.
with the Sarah Jaffe from the
Other band.
the defunct band Erase Errata. Both happen all the time. People crisscross
Confused.
and
Yeah, we thought we were getting that.
yeah.
Author, were we? Never mind.
Guys, I'm not that.
I think we got the coolest one.
Oh no!
Wow.
Someone has
sure.
brought a Sarah Jaffe CD
For you to sign.
for me to sign,
Nice.
and it was
I
really
hope you
disheartening.
signed it.
I didn't, and I actually kind of like felt bad. I kind of like shamed the guy.
You did?
Yeah, I really reamed into him.
Wrong
What'd you
show,
say?
dude.
And I was like, well,
Did you hear any of these songs?
I
on
was
my
like-
show?
this isn't. I was like right away. I was like, oh, this isn't me actually. He was like, it's not. I was like, no. And it's funny that like that I'm like, this person doesn't have an H on the end of like these things that are so big to me. But why the fuck would he know? Like,
It's
the-
like drummers that are
just-
given an album to sign that they're not on because they're the new drummer of the band. They just sign it anyway and just move on.
yeah, it's just like move on.
Yeah.
Because who's gonna pick up that? Who's gonna pick up
happens
that?
all the. I know tons.
I mean,
where fans come and they get the whole band to sign. He's been a drummer for the last 3 years. They've been around for 30.
That's so
I'll sign
fucking
this first
funny,
album.
dude, that you bring
No
up
problem.
the drummer.
Yeah, sure. Because
not
it's
the same
it's
thing.
always the drummer though.
The drummer
Whatever.
or
I'm
the
like, it's the
bass
drummer.
player. Yeah.
It's the fucking rhythm section.
Anyway.
Yes. Anyways, I just kind of shamed him, and I saw the light go from his eyes, and I was like, "Hey, sorry, man."
Yeah.
I just was like, and we don't sound alike, and we don't look alike, and really observant you are. Always meet him at the merch table.
Yeah.
Just really drove it into him. I don't know, with some smart ass remark, and I really. That's what the merch.
And then you felt guilty?
The merch table just it whittles me down.
Oh,
to
no,
I'm
the
like,
merch table is a little brutal. And here's what I wanted to say about that real quick. And I know
Real
Abe's
quick.
gotta go. It's like
Real quick.
where I'm like, merch table should have been the
No,
opener.
It's just like, yeah, because it's like, and people expect they get offended real easy if you're a little distant and detached because
Yeah.
it's like you've just put out all this weird adrenaline and you're full
Yeah.
of weird adrenaline and it's like
And also
so many
strangely
people.
territorial for your own space.
And so
You're
many
like,
people are like, yeah. And
Yeah.
if you're a little, and you go a little bit like I don't know, just a little distant in the eyes or something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
we're like, well, sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
You're
right.
Like,
What's wrong
No,
with
yeah,
you?
like, exactly.
No.
No,
don't
do that.
Yeah.
But you dug into that guy, so that's why you felt the guilt.
Yeah, I just started. I started dreading the merch table at
Yeah.
every show, and just because I'm both a people pleaser
People
and
coming with wrong CDs
I'm a
every night.
people pleaser,
People
and I
pleaser.
also have no problem of going off on
Right.
you.
I'm the same. I'm a
So
similar
there's this like an
mix.
immediate guilt of
The
just being like,
immediate guilt.
"Nah!"
Yeah.
Be like, sorry,
Right.
Like you caught me at like
The
I'm in like
worst time.
I'm a purgatory, a transition, like where I've just given you 2 hours.
Or how about when your friends who will see you later come up to you at that moment, and you're like, dude, give me a second.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing my job thing.
Great show. Just like I can't like.
Dressing room etiquette. Yeah,
Yeah.
that goes
Yeah.
a long way.
If you are the homie, and you are, like, you know that I'm about to lose my
Yeah.
fucking shit right now.
Stay
Like,
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
go away. Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, we better let Ehud get out of here.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah.
Sarah, you were awesome.
With an H.
That was a fun podcast,
That
wasn't
was 2.5 hours of it. Yeah.
Sarah with a motherfucking H.
it? Yeah. It was
Yeah.
how many?
2.5 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Time of flies.
Damn.
Imagine if we had
Some instruments.
keyboards.
We
in
did
our
write that
hand.
one song. Doesn't that seem like about a week ago when we wrote that song?
Clean shot
Clean Shot. Seems like a week ago to me.
for my first EP for sure. Clean shot, yeah.
Don't you think seems like it was a long
It
time
does.
ago?
I'm gonna start
Like-
talking about it though as if it actually happened. I'm like, for my first,
Clean Shot.
Clean shot.
From the first collab EP.
2008's Clean Shot.
All right, crazy
Okay,
kids.
guys.
Let's do it.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go on the subway and read my book.
Hi, this is Joseph Arthur. Thanks for checking out Come to Where I'm From. Please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/come to where I'm from. We are an independent podcast, and any contributions you can make are greatly appreciated.